Prologue. This evening on the Ark wasn't just any ordinary one. A new life form was about to awaken in the lab today, a creation that would change the world forever. Is everything ready in the lab? Victor Robotnik asked one of his workers. Yes, sir, everyone is in position and prepared for whatever may happen, the worker responded. Together, they all entered the lab where the important event was set to unfold. Amelia Robotnik, a 5-year-old girl, peered curiously around the corner into the lab, her excitement bubbling as she wondered what was going on. Release it, Victor commanded. Some scientists, stationed at the main controls, began pressing buttons and typing into computers. A loud noise echoed as a large tube released air into the room. It opened up, smoke spilling out and making everyone cough and wave their hands in front of their faces. After a few tense moments, a hand slowly emerged from the opening. Then another. And after a brief pause, a head appeared. Cautiously, the creature stepped out of the tube, shaky and uncertain, stretching and yawning. Ah, yes. It's more beautiful than I ever imagined. Victor exclaimed as he saw his creation come to life, walking toward him. Who are you, little one? He asked. The bright white hedgehog kneeled before him, their head lowered, then looked up at the scientist after addressing their creator. I am Experiment 1290, created to aid humanity. You are Victor Robotnik, my creator and my master. I am here to serve you and grant you one wish, they replied. Remind me of the key facts about this magnificent creature? Victor asked. Certainly, a worker answered. Age, none, but it's irrelevant. You've made her immortal. Gender, female. She carries infinite chaos energy. She can absorb memories and powers from all living beings. Victor Robotnik, you have created the ultimate life form. Victor laughed joyfully, clearly pleased with his creation. Yes. She's flawless. But, my dear, what shall we call you? He asked, gazing at the creature. As the creation stood up and began to look around her new environment, Amelia gazed in awe at the new being in their home, the Ark. Not concerned about any possible consequences, she ventured into the lab, unnoticed by anyone. She happily approached the white hedgehog, smiling brightly as she gave her a big hug. Startled, the hedgehog trembled, surprised by the little girl's embrace. You're so pretty, Amelia said, her hands running through the hedgehog's quills. Amelia, what are you doing here? Victor asked, approaching his granddaughter. Sorry, Grandpa, I just wanted to see the new experiment, she replied, her voice full of excitement. Victor chuckled and lifted her off the ground. You should be resting, but I understand. This is our latest project. However, we haven't settled on a name yet. We've been discussing options, he said as he gently put her back down. Amelia, now excited, approached the hedgehog, who realized that she was supposed to serve this little girl. The hedgehog had dark purple tips on her quills, special boots with metal tips, teal eyes, a leather jacket, shorts, and a moon-shaped birthmark on her shoulder. Luna! Amelia exclaimed. I love the name Luna. Please, can we call her that? She begged, tugging on the hedgehog's jacket. Looking at his colleagues, Victor saw no objections. All right, Luna it is, he agreed. With the decision made, Victor stepped forward toward his new creation. Now, Experiment 1290 is no longer your name. From now on, you'll be known as Luna. Luna the hedgehog. The ultimate life form. You, my creation, are going to change the world. I know it, he said, smiling at her. What's my first task? Luna asked, her voice full of purpose. Your first task is to stay with Amelia. She will need you by her side at all times. I will call you when I need you, Victor replied. Luna nodded and turned her attention to Amelia, the child she was to protect and serve. Come on, Luna. I want to show you everything. Amelia said eagerly, pulling her new companion by the arm. As they walked off, one of the scientists approached Victor. So, I assume Project Luna is officially a success, he asked. Yes. It definitely is. Victor confirmed with a satisfied grin. Chapter 1. It was late at night. Everything seemed calm, but Dr. Malvador was rummaging through his grandfather's old lab, hoping to find something that could help him take over the world. Dr. Malvador, it's really late. Shouldn't we head back now? Orbit asked. No, I'm on the verge of something big. Just give me a minute. Eggman snapped back. Cubit was irritated but kept quiet, not wanting to get yelled at or hit. He started looking around the room. I don't even know what we're supposed to be looking for, he complained while glancing around. The two robots kept searching from their spots. But Cubit, in his usual clumsy way, bumped into a shelf, causing a heap of papers to fall on top of him. Oh, come on. You really need to pay attention. Orbit scolded him. I tried, but that stupid shelf was in my way. Cubit grumbled. As Cubit gathered the papers, Eggman turned around and saw him picking up the scattered documents. Let me see those, he ordered, snatching them from Cubit's hands. Eggman was shocked when he saw these files. He had never seen them before, not even when he'd visited the lab earlier. But he wasn't sure what to make of it. Odd, he mumbled to himself. What is it, Doctor? Orbit asked. It looks like there's an experiment here I've never heard of. It's not even in the files or the old computer system, Eggman explained. Does that mean your grandpa was keeping something secret? Cubit asked, his voice curious. At first, Eggman felt offended, but after all the mysteries he had uncovered with Shadow, he wasn't sure anymore. Maybe you're right, Eggman admitted. He looked over the papers but didn't find a project name, only an experiment number. Orbit, pull up the computer and type in 1290. I need to know more about this, he ordered. Right away, Doctor. Orbit responded. After typing a few things into the computer, Orbit found a few compressed files on the laptop. Aha! I knew it. Let me see what's inside these, he said, clicking on one of the files. However, when he tried to open the files, almost all of them asked for a passcode. I'll figure this out. Eggman said, determined, and started typing various codes into the box. But every time, the system rejected his attempts. Ugh! This is hopeless. Eggman shouted in frustration and stood up to walk away. Just then, Cubit noticed the files and clicked on one. Hey! This one opened for me, he said cheerfully. Eggman turned, surprised, and went back to the laptop to see what Cubit had found. Project Luna? I've never heard of this, Eggman said, reading aloud as he scrolled down. My experiment was a success. She woke up fully aware of her purpose and who I was, as well as who my team and my dear granddaughter are. She even knew who Amelia was. This changes everything in my research. I wonder when she'll be able to show how powerful she is. We can't rush things, though, as we might harm her or others on the Ark. But I'm certain this is going to be our greatest creation. We've named her Luna. Luna the Hedgehog. She is the ultimate life form. I only have this much information now, but more files will be coming soon. I pray this will be enough to change the world. Victor Robotnik. Eggman froze, shocked by this new discovery. He slammed the laptop shut and stood up. Orbit and Cubit were just as stunned, realizing the magnitude of what they might be dealing with. Breaking the silence, Orbit spoke up. So? Shadow wasn't the first one, he asked, looking at his master. Eggman, now realizing the truth, nodded. I can't believe I missed this. Everything was right in front of me. No matter. I need to find this mysterious hedgehog, he declared. But how are we supposed to find it? It's not like he left us a map or anything. Cubit grumbled, leaning on a strange desk. As Cubit leaned, the desk couldn't handle the weight and collapsed beneath him. Eggman groaned and noticed a rolled-up piece of paper hidden underneath the mess. He picked it up, took a deep breath, and unrolled it. It was a map. A map to the area around his grandfather's lab before they were sent to the Ark. "I'm guessing this experiment was moved to Earth before the raid," Eggman muttered, studying the map. "According to my grandfather, he hid this secret experiment far from the lab. We'll need to fly there to find it." The robots nodded, and they quickly left the lab. They spent most of the night searching, with Orbit and Cubit taking turns flying the ship, as Eggman needed his rest. It wasn't until morning that they reached the location marked on the map. It was a remote, isolated island, and there, where the map indicated, was a patch of silver sand. "Dr. Malvador, as much as we don't want to disturb your sleep, we think we've found something you'll want to see," Orbit said, gently nudging Eggman's arm. "Huh?" Eggman groggily asked as he rubbed his eyes and stepped out of the ship to see what was going on. He looked closely at the sand, spotting something metallic sticking out of the ground. He wiped away the sand and squinted. "It's here. Get some robots to dig it out. We need to bring this to the lab," Eggman commanded. "Yes, sir," they replied, quickly activating the robot controls. Robots started digging deep into the sand, pulling out what was hidden. When they finally revealed what was inside the tube, Eggman gasped. There, lying before them, was the bright white hedgehog, still asleep and unable to move. "Oh my," Eggman whispered. He couldn't believe his eyes. The hedgehog's form was very different from Shadow's. "We need to learn more. Hurry," he urged, pushing everyone to act quickly. The hedgehog was placed aboard the ship, and they sped back to their base, eager to learn what this new discovery would mean for their plans. A couple of hours passed before they were able to get her into the lab, waiting to see what Dr. Malvador would do next. Without considering the consequences, Dr. Malvador decided to open the tube. He saw it as an opportunity to reshape someone into a tool for his plans. "Okay, I think I just need to type her code into the keypad, and it should release her," he said, pressing some numbers. "Be ready to fire if needed," he ordered his robots, who stood prepared. The silver tube made a hissing sound as it released air. It was almost like déjà vu. The hedgehog moved carefully as she stepped out of the tube. She cautiously placed one foot on the ground, the metal clinking loudly, followed by the other foot, making the same sound. She stretched her neck, cracked her knuckles, and flexed her wrists, shaking off the stiffness from her long slumber. Immediately, she noticed Dr. Malvador and the robots staring at her. Understanding her position, she bowed before them respectfully and looked Dr. Malvador in the eyes. "My name is Luna the Hedgehog. I am the ultimate life form. I am here to create a new future. Because you have awakened me and set me free, it is an honor to serve you and grant you one wish," she said. A wicked grin spread across Dr. Malvador's face as he saw this new life form submit to his power. "Haha. I knew this would be worth it," he laughed. "So, ultimate life form, I am your new master. Dr. Malvador is the name you will call me. I will teach you your duties here. My wish is simple: serve me without question, help me conquer this world, and build my own empire," he commanded. "As you wish. I am at your service," Luna replied, standing tall and crossing her arms. "This will change everything." Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 2. Luna sat on a metal table, wires connected to her body, but her mind was awake and curious about the new beings around her. "So, robot, are you a friend of Master Eggman?" she asked one of them. "And not exactly. We're more like helpers to him. But we're here to assist you while you're under his service. We're just gathering basic data for Dr. Malvador," Orbit explained, removing the wires from her body. "You've got a great outfit," Cubit said, pointing at her boots and clothes. "I've always liked the leather jacket best. The shirt underneath helps me breathe more comfortably. The boots have metal taps, and with a click of the heel, I can turn them into weapons," she explained, then tapped her leg, making a knife pop out of her shoe. "Whoa. You have weapons right at your feet. Cubit exclaimed. Luna smirked and then made the knife disappear back into her shoe. I can teleport too, she added, vanishing from their view. She reappeared behind them and shouted, "Boo!" Both robots jumped, trying to regain their balance. Ha! Sorry. I can't help it. It's just a classic. Luna chuckled as they tried to recover. Orbit rubbed the back of his head in surprise and noticed that Luna was hovering off the ground. You can hover, he said, stunned. Yep. I've always been able to do that. It's just a little brain power, she replied. So, you don't have rocket shoes like Shadow? Cubit asked. Orbit quickly tried to silence him, but it was too late. Shadow? Who's Shadow? Luna asked, her tone suddenly serious. Well, you see, Shadow is, another being from somewhere else, and... He's a copy of you, Luna interrupted. Luna turned to see Dr. Malvador standing nearby with a serious look in his eyes. She relaxed and faced him. I need to know what's going on. I've been trapped in that tube for too long. Who is Shadow? She demanded. Dr. Malvador led them all to the main room and activated a hologram. I'll introduce you to one of the targets you'll be going after. His name is Zephyr the Hedgehog. He's also considered the ultimate life form, created by my grandfather, Victor Robotnik. He's not easy to capture, so you'll have to move fast, Dr. Malvador explained. Luna, once confident, became agitated, her purple tip spreading across her white quills. What's happening to her? Cubit asked, looking worried. Even Eggman was taken aback and took a step back. Luna? He asked cautiously. After feeling his hand on her shoulder, Luna calmed down and returned to her pearly white form, the purple tips fading slightly. I'm sorry. It's just that. She started. What's wrong? Dr. Malvador asked. In a burst of anger, Luna stomped on the projector, using the knife hidden in her shoe. Everyone backed up in fear. All those years, and he replaced me? I didn't think he would, but they never thought to let me out again. She sighed in frustration. Eggman was so stunned that he didn't know what to say. I don't quite understand. You were created by my grandfather? Did you know this hedgehog? He asked. Luna shook her head quickly. No, I never met him. I don't even know if he knew about me. But when I was created, they locked me away because they realized I wasn't what they needed. They injected me with a needle and put me to sleep. They were already making him when they created me, some father he turned out to be. She explained, stepping back. Any reason they would lock you away? Orbit asked. Luna sighed and gestured to her hands. Because I'm too powerful. They put me to sleep so I wouldn't use my energy. But now that I'm awake. She trailed off. Suddenly, a burst of light filled the room, bouncing off the walls and breaking everything in its path. The others had to duck for cover, but Luna remained calm. The light faded, and she wiped away a tear. It's those stupid powers that put me in that awful test tube, she replied at last. Dr. Malvador soon realized it was safe to approach her, understanding that she had the same problem as Shadow. You have no control over your chaos control, he murmured. With this realization, he led them all to the nearest lab. He quickly typed some commands into his machines, and soon, a machine chimed and signaled for him to come over. Carefully, Eggman retrieved 4 inhibitor rings and handed them to Luna. Here you go. These special rings will limit the amount of power you can use. You can take them off, but I recommend you only do so in an emergency, he explained. Luna examined them and then looked up at the doctor. Is that the only color they come in? She asked. Eggman grumbled and placed them in another machine. After a short moment, the machine notified him that the rings were ready. Will these work? He asked impatiently as he handed them back to her. Luna inspected them and saw that the rings were now a beautiful shade of teal. Yes, that works, she agreed, slipping them onto her wrist. She loved how they felt. Now that you're all set, are you ready for your mission? Eggman asked. Luna nodded and gave a slight bow. Of course, Doctor. What's my first task? She asked. Eggman gestured for her to follow him into another room. He typed into a laptop, activating a machine that projected images onto the screen. Besides your replica of a brother, there are other nuisances in this world, he explained, and images of Sonic and his friends appeared. This first one, Sonic the Hedgehog, is considered the fastest thing alive. He's annoyingly clever. You'll need to be quick to catch him, along with the others here. It's going to take too long to explain how each one is a threat, he grumbled. While Eggman was distracted, Luna suddenly pressed her index and middle fingers onto his forehead. Her eyes glowed for a moment, and then she shook herself out of it. Thank you, Dr. Malvador. Now I understand the issues with each of your opponents. All I needed to know was what they looked like. Is capturing and bringing them all here my only task? Seems a bit too easy if you ask me, she remarked. For now, yes. Until I figure out what else you can do, I need you to deal with those pests. Eggman snapped. So go. Your mission awaits. Of course, Master. I won't fail you, she responded before vanishing from sight. This better work. If it doesn't, I'm not sure what I'll do, Dr. Malvador muttered as he left his lab and moved to another room, away from his robots. That's when Orbit and Cubit decided to do a little investigating of their own. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 3. It was a bright, sunny day in Green Hills when Sonic, Tails, and Ruby decided they needed some fresh air. Man, those last few battles with Eggman were tough. Tails exclaimed. Yeah, no kidding. I thought we couldn't defeat that many at once. Sonic replied. Oh well, at least we win every time. Ruby said, beaming. I just want to relax and not do anything, Sonic sighed as he lay back on the grass. Just as the three of them were starting to relax, Luna appeared in Green Hill, spotting the trio lounging. She smirked and teleported closer to them. Well. If it isn't the blue nuisance, she growled. Annoyed by the sudden disruption, Sonic sat up, grumbling. All three were shocked to see an albino hedgehog standing before them with her arms crossed. Oh great. Another faker. Who are you supposed to be? Sonic asked. I'm Luna the hedgehog. I'm the ultimate life form, and I have an order from Dr. Malvador to capture you all and bring you back to him. He has a plan, and I have to follow my orders, she replied. Sonic looked at Tails and Ruby, who shrugged and laughed. Why, you're the ultimate life form? Sonic chuckled. Hate to break it to you, but we already have one of those. Tails added, still laughing. At least this one isn't edgy. She looks brighter than him. Ruby finished, and all three of them continued to laugh at the new hedgehog who claimed such authority. Luna, unamused, muttered, he wasn't wrong, all three of you are irritating, and teleported away from their view. Confused, they looked around. Where'd she go? Tails asked. Suddenly, Luna appeared behind them, grabbed Tails by his fur, and dragged him away. Tails! Sonic shouted frantically. They realized this was no game anymore. Come out, you coward! Ruby yelled. Out of nowhere, Luna appeared, holding Tails by his fur. I would submit now if I were you, Luna warned. What are you? Sonic yelled. The one who was replaced. Luna snapped back. Both Sonic and Ruby were shocked and confused by her words. Luna then pressed her 2 fingers against Tails' head. He squirmed, but she released him, letting him crash to the ground. I've got you, buddy. Sonic shouted as he rushed to catch Tails. But before he could reach him, Luna tackled Sonic to the ground. Pathetic excuse for a hedgehog, she sneered, kicking him in the stomach. Sonic groaned in pain as Luna smirked at his suffering. Ruby charged forward with her hammer raised. "Eat hammer," she shouted, swinging it down towards Luna. Luna quickly blocked the swing with her arm. "Stupid pink fuzz," she grumbled, grabbing the hammer and tossing it far away. Ruby stood frozen in shock, not seeing Luna's punch coming. "Oof!" Ruby cried, falling face first into the dirt. "Just tell us who you are." Sonic snapped. "I am the forgotten life form. I was designed to assist the Earth. I was sealed away before I could finish my mission. No one will stop me from completing what I was made to do," she proclaimed. Sonic, filled with anger, jumped up from the ground, transforming into a spiky ball and charging straight at Luna. Seeing his attack coming, she crossed her arms and absorbed the hit. When it seemed like Sonic's strength was fading, Luna kicked him back into the ground, creating a huge crater, as if an asteroid had struck the Earth. Sonic coughed and struggled to catch his breath after the heavy blow. Before he could rise, Luna placed her foot firmly on his chest, pushing down hard, making him yelp in pain. "Still think I'm a joke," she growled. Sonic tried to speak but couldn't due to being winded. "Answer me," she shouted, the blade from her boot dangerously close to his eye. "And no. But you're a jerk. Just like the other ultimate life form," he gasped out. You're Sonic the Hedgehog, right? You don't look very heroic to me," Luna remarked. Dr. Malvador said this would be a challenge. "Didn't expect it to be this easy," she continued with a smug tone. Wait, you're working for Eggman?" Sonic asked in disbelief. "Didn't I tell you that earlier? And why wouldn't I? He set me free at last. Unlike his previous relative." She hissed. "But that's none of your concern. I'm after something else," she snapped. "Who?" Sonic choked. "The rest of your army. The ones who serve you." "Eggman gave me a job, and I plan to finish it," she replied firmly. "I don't have an army. I've got friends. Something you've obviously never had," Sonic retorted. Luna, furious, kicked him again. Her knife barely scratched his rib, leaving a thin mark that resembled a paper cut. "If I can't get answers now, I'll deal with them later." "You're coming with me," she declared. Exhausted and with no other options, Sonic lay on the ground, defeated, as Luna placed a collar around his neck and cuffs around his wrists, hoisting him up herself. Before they could go far, something hit Luna hard on the back of her head. "OW," she cried out. "Leave him alone." Tails shouted, limping towards her. He had thrown a wrench at her and picked it up again. Sonic tried to make a run for it, but the restraint stopped him from using his powers. Just as Luna was about to charge at them, she glanced at her wristwatch, which started beeping. "Ugh. We'll meet again. Don't think you've escaped my gaze yet, pathetic rejects," she growled before vanishing from their sight. Sonic, now exhausted, dropped to his knees to catch his breath. Tails quickly checked on him, seeing the bruises on his body. "Did she hurt you anywhere else?" Tails asked with concern. "Just my ribs and stomach." "Nothing too bad," Sonic replied. "Do you think she has some sort of connection to Shadow?" She mentioned looking for him. Tails wondered. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure it out." "Where's Ruby?" Sonic asked. Tails pointed toward the pink ball nearby. "Over there, she's unconscious." Worried, Sonic limped toward her and gently touched her side. "Ames, are you okay?" he asked. Ruby didn't respond at first. Concerned, Sonic gently rolled her onto her side to check her face. "Wake up, Ames," he cried. Ruby's eyes fluttered open, and she sat up, looking at her friends. "Wah. What happened?" she asked, still dazed. "We got attacked." "That's what happened." Tails cried. "I knew that. I meant after we got attacked." "And why is Sonic wearing all that stuff?" she asked, annoyed. After the chaos, Sonic had forgotten about the strange restraints. He tried to break free, but they only tightened their grip. I should be able to pick the lock, Tails said, pulling out a paperclip and working on the cuffs. After a few tries, the cuffs fell off, freeing Sonic from the weight they held him down with. The collar easily came off too, allowing him to move freely again. Oh, what a relief. Thanks, buddy, Sonic sighed, stretching his arms. Happy to help. Tails smiled. Okay, now that that's done, how are we going to handle this new problem? Ruby asked, a little impatient. Honestly, I wasn't sure what to think of her, Sonic admitted. She's stronger than Shadow. Speaking of Shadow, maybe he knows something about her? Maybe we should ask him, Tails suggested. Good idea. Let's hurry, who knows how much time we have, Sonic agreed, and the trio started running off to find Shadow. Whatever this new life form was, they needed to figure it out soon. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 4. Using her teleportation powers, Luna arrived back at Eggman's base, clearly irritated about being called back so quickly. I thought you needed me to bring back those annoying creatures. Why am I being called back so soon? Luna asked. You see, Luna, in order to successfully complete this mission, I need to learn more about you. There's one task we need to do before capturing those other pests, Eggman explained. Okay, I suppose that's fair, Luna replied, sitting back in a chair and crossing one leg over the other. What do you want to know? Luna asked as Eggman sat down with some papers in hand. Did my grandfather really create you? What was your purpose? Why did he lock you away if he knew you were going to be so successful? Eggman asked, flipping through the papers. Luna cleared her throat and began to speak. Victor did create me. He just made sure the world didn't know about me. I was classified so that the government wouldn't cause chaos. Not that I couldn't handle them. He told me I had to stay hidden so future projects could succeed. They didn't want anything ruined. My purpose was to protect the world from future threats and enemy weapons. But more importantly, I was supposed to help save a little girl from a terrible disease. I was supposed to balance her condition so she wouldn't suffer. I was the cure. But they trapped me in that tube, preventing me from completing my task, Luna explained solemnly. Eggman was startled by his finding, but made sure to record all of Luna's details. I see, how heartbreaking, he said. My cousin Amelia passed away about 50 years ago, all thanks to Shadow, he added sharply. Wait. Amelia is dead? Luna asked, visibly shocked. Oh, right. You were trapped in a tube longer than Shadow was. She passed on Ark due to the GUN agents. Many tried to escape that ship, but it was hopeless. Everyone either got arrested or shot. Amelia was one of the unlucky ones, Eggman explained flatly. Luna was in disbelief. Her best friend, who had been with her since birth, was gone. She never got to say goodbye or hear her laugh again. Why did they shoot her? She asked, growling in frustration. Apparently, a little 12-year-old girl was seen as a threat to humanity by releasing experiments onto Earth. So, they shot her. But not before sending the others into space, long before they reached this planet. You should be grateful, you didn't have to see that, Eggman continued. I could have stopped it. But they locked me away. Luna sighed, feeling regret. I'm still confused, Luna said, her voice shaking. Why did they lock you up? Couldn't they have tried to control the energy inside you? They could have, but they didn't. That's the problem. They didn't even try to fix me. Instead, they replaced me with that mysterious hedgehog I've never met. Do you know how long I tried to control it? It wasn't my fault. I tried so hard to be what they wanted for years. But what did they do? Nothing. They locked me away in a secret room. Then they dumped me on that miserable island, she screamed, filled with anger and pain from her past. Tears flowed as she remembered how no one ever returned for her. Despite hearing all of this, Dr. Malvador knew he could use it to his advantage. There, Luna. It'll all be worth it. I have a much better plan. We're going to make things right. We're going to make a stand, and this time, you'll play a role in the future. Doesn't that sound enticing? Dr. Malvador said, gently guiding Luna in front of a mirror. Think about it. A better future, one that my grandfather could never create, he continued. Manipulation was key to his plan. He needed to ensure Luna would stay by his side for his sinister purpose, which he kept hidden. Luna, now hooked, turned around and nodded. I'm ready to continue, she declared. Wonderful. And it's good that you're ready. This one might be tough since these comrades don't give up easily, he replied. Oh, that won't be a problem. I can handle myself, Luna said confidently. Meanwhile, at GUN headquarters, the entire agency was preparing for a sudden mandatory meeting. Among those attending were Shadow and Rouge, heading towards their seats. Do you think this one will be worthwhile? Rouge asked. All the meetings here are pointless. They never concern us, Shadow grumbled. I guess you're right. I really thought I would get the day off, Rouge sighed. It probably won't last more than an hour if we're lucky, Rouge noted. They nodded and took their seats. The leader stood in front of them, hands behind his back, facing the projected screen. Listen up everyone, we have a brand new issue. While we've dealt with similar problems before, I'm afraid this one may be something new. Shadow and Rouge exchanged smirks at the leader's dramatic introduction before focusing on the meeting. Since 2 days ago, there have been multiple burglaries at various places, from mechanic shops to jewel stores. It's strange. One of the stolen items, a Chaos Emerald from the Sacred Museum of Gems, was taken despite high-level security, he continued. The mention of the Chaos Emerald caught Shadow and Rouge's attention. Anyone who robs a store for something that powerful is a serious threat, the commander said. The duo agreed. It had been a long time since someone, besides Eggman, had tried to steal the emerald. Are Agents Rouge and Shadow here? The commander asked. Both stood up. Yes, Commander, we're both here, Rouge said, her voice serious. I'm not accusing you of anything, the commander started, but since these crimes have occurred, and because of your past offenses, I must ask, are you somehow involved? It feels like you're accusing us, Rouge snapped. What Rouge is trying to say is, we haven't been near any museums or stores recently. We don't know who's behind this trouble, Shadow added, trying to calm the situation. Funny you should say that, the commander responded. We have surveillance footage showing someone who looks very familiar in the shops. The video played for everyone to see, and many were shocked to see a figure that appeared to be Shadow. Even Shadow was stunned. The figure looked like him, except for one detail. I'm not white, he shouted angrily. The commander looked at the video again and realized the figure had a different color. Oh, you're right. But do you recognize this hedgehog? He asked. Why does everyone assume we know every animal that crosses our path? Rouge asked, frustrated. After a closer look, Shadow noticed some similarities, but nothing stood out. Give us time to investigate. I'll need to speak to some others about this. I can't do this alone. Let Agent Rouge join me on this mission, Shadow said. The commander thought for a moment before agreeing to Shadow's request. Both of them were provided with the tools they needed to tackle this task, but they were still stuck on the first page. Wouldn't it be easier to just talk to Sonic and the others? We have no idea what we're dealing with. Rouge asked, her voice full of worry. Maybe. But talking to them might make things worse, Shadow replied as he scanned through the papers. When Rouge turned around in her chair, she noticed Shadow was concerned about something. Is something wrong, honey? Shadow sighed heavily and frowned as he stared at the photo of the mystery hedgehog. It's just. I can't shake the feeling that there's more to this than we know. In what way exactly? Believe it or not, I swear I've seen something like this before on Ark. At one point. But, maybe it's just a coincidence, Shadow muttered. Rouge, who knew how much stress he'd been under over the years, placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "We'll figure it out together. I promise," she reassured him. Shadow nodded, and together, they left the building. As they walked outside, each holding a cup of coffee, they spotted Sonic, Ruby, and Tails running toward the building. "Hey! wait. We need to talk," Ruby shouted, panting. Rouge and Shadow were shocked to see their friends but knew something important must have happened. "What's going on?" Rouge asked. "A new enemy. She's incredibly strong. She's planning to come after all of us. We tried to stop her, but, oh gosh, I'm out of breath." Tails gasped before collapsing. "Huh?" Shadow asked, confused. "There's a hedgehog. She robbed a warehouse and a museum the other day. She already has one Chaos Emerald. We tried to stop her twice, but it was too late," Sonic explained. Rouge and Shadow stared in disbelief, both dropping their coffee cups. They exchanged looks, and Shadow pulled out the photo from his jacket pocket. "Tell me, is this her?" he asked urgently. "Yes," they shouted in unison. Now, it was serious. Someone dangerous was after them. "Did you catch her name?" Rouge asked. "Yes. It really suits her," Tails said, still catching his breath. "Well? What is it?" Shadow asked impatiently. "Luna. Luna the hedgehog. The real, ultimate life form." Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 5. On one side, the team was in a panic, worried about everything that was happening and wondering what the future would hold. This all led them into the next chapter, or rather, the next era. It's now the future. Silver and Blaze are strolling through their peaceful town, joined by Vega, who had decided to spend the day with them. "I never thought the sun could look so beautiful," Blaze sighed. "It's nice where I am too. When are you two coming back to the present?" Vega asked. "Whenever we feel like it," Silver replied casually. "Is the future really that great now?" Vega chuckled. "Yeah, mainly because we finally get to enjoy the sun," Blaze answered. "I guess you're right," Vega sighed, and they continued to relax on the roof of a house. Unaware of the danger approaching, they didn't see Luna stepping through a portal and entering their land. Her shoes clicked against the ground as she walked. Looking around, Luna pressed a few buttons on her wristwatch, pulling up pictures of Blaze and Silver. They were the ones she was tasked with getting a Chaos Emerald from. But Luna had other plans. She wanted to do more than just that. She wanted to prove that she was more powerful and more advanced than Shadow would ever be. "How's the mission going?" Dr. Malvador asked over the watch. "I'm still searching for them, sir." "Don't worry, I'll find them soon enough," Luna replied. "Good, but hurry. This mission won't finish itself," Eggman said before signing off. Luna chuckled to herself and kept looking around. That's when she spotted Vega, Blaze, and Silver still lounging on the roof. Luna was ready to shake things up. "Hey! You three," she called, shouting to get their attention. All three of them sat up and turned to see the unfamiliar hedgehog. "Can we help you?" Blaze asked, a little confused. "Why yes. I need some help. I hope I'm not causing any trouble." "Oh, I'm so silly," Luna stammered, pretending to be as innocent as possible. The three of them jumped down from the roof and walked toward her. "No worries. What can we do for you?" Silver asked. "Well, you see. I'm looking for one of these," Luna said, pulling out a picture of the Chaos Emeralds. "It's really important that I find one," she added, handing them the picture. They examined the picture and understood what she was referring to. "Oh. We actually have one of those right here," Silver said, pulling a Chaos Emerald from his quills. "Thank goodness." I'm so relieved. Luna gasped as she reached out for it. Wait a minute, why do you need one? Blaze asked, her voice full of suspicion. Luna froze, but quickly regained her composure. My people are really sick where I come from. We heard a legend that Chaos Emeralds can heal the sick. Please. I don't want them to die, she cried, tears starting to fall. Blaze and Silver looked at her with some sympathy, but Vega remained cautious. Something didn't seem right about this hedgehog. What's your name? He asked. El Luna. Why? Vega looked at his friends with an unreadable expression. Have you ever heard of or seen this hedgehog before? He asked. Both of them shook their heads and then took a closer look at Luna, who was still crying. But that doesn't mean she doesn't need help, Silver said, trying to soften the situation. That's not the point. How do we know she really needs it? Vega retorted. I'm just trying to be kind. Silver said, feeling frustrated. He does have a point. After everything with Mephiles, I'm not sure what to think, Blaze added. You guys, can't we just help her? She might really need us. Silver pleaded. Maybe we should think about it some more, Blaze said. But maybe she doesn't have time to wait. Silver argued. The three of them kept arguing, and Luna, growing increasingly frustrated, knew it was now or never. As they continued to bicker, she levitated above the ground and side-kicked Silver hard in the face. AGH, he yelled as the Chaos Emerald slipped from his grip. Luna snatched it from the air, clutching it tightly to her side. I must admit, he's quite naive. Thankfully, you've got teammates with slow reactions. I was starting to wonder how long I'd have to stand around, Luna chuckled as she flew above them, effortlessly out of their reach. Once Silver recovered, the group quickly got to their feet, preparing for a fight. The Chaos Emerald spun gently in Luna's hand as she descended back to the ground. It's a pleasure to finally meet you both. I don't know who the chameleon is, and frankly, I don't care. Dr. Malvador sent me to capture all of you and, of course, the Chaos Emerald you so kindly handed me. That makes 4 in total, she sneered. She placed the emerald in her quills as she moved closer. Now that we've finally met, I have to take you to my leader. So be nice and give up, she said, pulling 2 collars from her shoulder pack. Make us, Vega retorted. Luna tucked the collars away and summoned an electric whip, ready for action. All right then. You had your chance, she snapped. For a brief moment, they all just stood, staring at one another. Then, without warning, Luna vanished from sight. Where did she go? Silver asked, confused. They waited, but it wasn't until Vega heard a voice behind him that he realized what was happening. Behind you, he shouted as he used his katana to block the whip from reaching them. The whip tangled around his sword, but Luna wasn't bothered. Using all her strength, she spun Vega around and slammed him into a nearby wall. Vega! Blaze shouted angrily. You're going to regret that. She rushed at Luna, flames flickering in her hands. Blaze attempted to strike Luna 3 times, but each attack was dodged with ease. On the 4th attempt, Luna caught her punch. Who are you? Blaze asked, trembling. I'm the true ultimate life form. Your little fire tricks don't faze me, Luna answered calmly, then pushed 2 fingers gently against Blaze's forehead. Although, they can be quite powerful, she added, a spark of flame appearing in her hand. How? Blaze gasped. With a wink, Luna sent Blaze crashing to the ground, leaving her struggling for air. What a letdown. I was hoping for more of a challenge, Luna sighed. You want more of a challenge? Look no further. Silver yelled, standing beside Vega, both glaring at her. Luna threw her head back and laughed. You call yourselves competition? Ha! Either way, it'll be fun smashing you into the dirt, she mocked. We'll see how far you get. Vega shot back. They charged at her, preparing to fight. Luna readied her whip, anticipating their moves. Silver used his abilities to hurl rocks and debris in her direction, hoping to stop her. Vega leapt onto the airborne slabs of rock, trying to strike her with any weapon he could grab. Luna skillfully dodged every attack and burned everything they threw at her into ashes. "Had enough yet?" she asked, her voice filled with amusement. "We were just getting started," Vega smirked. He threw a set of shuriken at her face. Luna, taken by surprise, knew she had to act quickly. She slid to the ground, then leapt up, charging straight into Silver. The two crashed to the ground with a heavy thud. Silver struggled to keep her hands away from his eyes, but Luna's strength, combined with her fiery abilities, weakened him with each passing second. "Why, you're crazy!" Silver yelled, breathless. Luna chuckled and slapped him across the face. "Not crazy, just smarter than you," she taunted. Silver realized this battle was lost. Blaze was down, he was barely holding on, and Vega was running out of strength. But then, an idea struck him. "Vega," he shouted. At the sound of his name, Vega turned around just in time to catch a small device Silver threw toward him. "Get back to your time," warned the others. "It's the red button," Silver urged. Vega nodded and grabbed the small device. He stumbled away from the scene, glancing back at his friends. What about?" "Just go," Silver interrupted. Without another word, Vega pressed the button, and a portal appeared, allowing him to escape. You're more foolish than I thought. But maybe I was expecting too much from your pathetic little group of misfits," Luna mused, snapping a collar around Vega's neck and cuffing his wrists. "Be thankful that Eggman wants you alive. Otherwise, I'd have taken care of you myself," she added, pushing her fingers against his forehead. Vega was puzzled, but his concern grew as he noticed things floating around her, moving at her command. "Telekinesis? Always thought that was a useless power. But you two are really helping me out," Luna said with a wicked grin. She levitated Silver off the ground, floating him behind her as she approached the injured Blaze, who was trying to get up. Blaze hissed at Luna, anger flashing in her eyes when she saw Silver so beaten. "Don't you dare hurt him," she shouted. "I won't," Luna replied with a sigh, then used her power to immobilize Blaze. "If you behave," she smirked, fastening a collar around Blaze's neck. "Ugh!" Blaze cried out in frustration. Cuffs were placed around Blaze's wrists, and Luna put her back on the ground. "Master Eggman, I've found 2 of the specimens. There were supposed to be 3, but one vanished. However, I got what you wanted," Luna reported, speaking into her watch. "Excellent. Did you manage to find a Chaos Emerald?" Eggman asked. "Of course. I'll bring them to you right away." Luna signing off, she replied before shutting off the watch. Silver and Blaze were stunned as they realized the new villain working for Dr. Malvador was far more dangerous than they had imagined. "Look, Luna, or whatever your name is. I don't know you very well, but if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that Eggman is bad news. Please, don't go through with this," Blaze pleaded. "Yeah. Trust us. We've dealt with him for years. He'll backstab you eventually," Silver added. "Ugh," Luna said, disgusted, and waved her hand lightly. A strange device appeared, wrapping around their muzzles, preventing them from speaking. "Your voices are incredibly annoying. I don't have time for your nonsense. Now, unless you want your friends to suffer, I suggest you keep quiet. Don't speak about my leader that way. For the record, he's far better than my creator. At least he never locked me in a tube and abandoned me for over 50 years, she sneered. "Enough of this foolishness," she continued, lifting them both off the ground. "Let's go." They were terrified, knowing they had never encountered someone stronger than Shadow or Mephiles. That's when they were suddenly pulled through a portal, back into the present. While Luna was making her way back, Dr. Malvador was busy trying to access the locked files on his grandfather's computer. "What are you trying to do, Doctor?" Orbit asked, curious. I need to get into these files to see what my grandfather was hiding. I need to understand more about Project Luna. How come we've never found any trace of her until now, he explained, continuing to type in various passcodes, but every one was rejected. He sighed loudly, frustrated. Just as he was about to try something else, a noise from the back room caught his attention. Curious, they went to check and saw that Luna had finally returned. Ah, Luna. I was wondering when you'd be back. Looks like you've brought some guests, he greeted, pleased. I told you I had it under control, she replied, roughly shoving Silver and Blaze to the floor. Future rat and fire mouse. Good work. What about the Chaos Emeralds? Luna produced the 4 Chaos Emeralds she had stolen. Did I do good? She asked, genuinely pleased with her success. Dr. Malvador was impressed. He knew how powerful Blaze and Silver were, so capturing both of them at the same time was no small feat. Very well done. I'm actually surprised. These two are extremely strong. You're more capable than I thought, he chuckled. I can assure you, Master Eggman, they weren't a challenge for me, she responded coolly. Eggman laughed again, eyeing Blaze and Silver, who were clearly shaken and unsure of what to make of their situation. Take them to the room I mentioned before you left. I'll let you know what our next move will be once you've dealt with that, he ordered. Right away, sir. With that, Luna dragged her prisoners to a room filled with several special cages. Welcome to your new home, sweet home, she said, releasing the muzzle so they could speak again. What are you planning to do? Silver demanded. That's none of your concern, she snarled, shoving them into one of the cages. The lock clicked shut, trapping them inside a clear box with no way to escape. Their cuffs tightened around their wrists when they tried to remove them. Don't even try. Every time you attempt to take them off, they tighten further, she warned sharply. Why are you doing this? Blaze snapped. Luna slammed her hand against the prison's wall, causing Blaze to flinch. Because I want revenge. I want to help Eggman heal the Earth. They locked me away before I could fulfill that destiny. Now he's offering me the chance to complete it, she growled. Whether you like it or not, you'll be a part of it. We'll start by getting one of you to tell me what I need to know. She motioned toward Silver. Suddenly, Silver began gasping for air, clutching his throat in panic. Stop. What are you doing? You're hurting him. Blaze cried, horrified. That's the point, Luna replied coldly. Just give me a simple answer, and I'll let him live. If not, well, I'd hate for you to have to bury your friend, she sneered. Silver struggled to breathe, desperately trying to catch his breath. Okay. Ask me. Blaze cried, panicked. Where is Zephyr the Hedgehog? Where's the rest of your army? Luna demanded. Blaze hesitated, trying to remember when she last saw everyone. Then it hit her. Shadow works for GUN. I don't know where their main base is, but I know that. Everyone else, they're probably looking for him, she cried. As promised, Luna stopped her grip on Silver's throat, and he began coughing and gasping for air. Good girl. I knew cracking you wouldn't be too hard, she said. But I have one more question, she added, her voice cold. Who's that chameleon? She demanded. Blaze hesitated, wondering whether to reveal the name. Ugh, Luna growled, tightening her hold again, cutting off Blaze's air supply. Why do you all have to be so difficult? She snapped. Blaze fought to breathe, tears running down her face. Vega. His name is Vega. But I doubt he was able to warp back to our time. Silver cried out, desperate. Luna released her hold, allowing them both to relax. Satisfied with the answers, she turned and began walking out. There's no way you could be related to Shadow, Silver growled weakly. Luna stopped in her tracks and turned to face him. I won't argue with that. I'm original. He's just a remake of something that was discarded. He's going to wish he was never created, she replied with a sinister smile. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 6. Afterward, Luna left the room and entered an empty storage area, closing the door behind her. She took a deep breath, trying to process everything that had just happened. Normally, nothing bothered her. But knowing that someone was out there who was created for the same purpose made Luna feel insecure, even mournful. Wiping away a tear, she pulled out a necklace hidden beneath her shirt, staring at the pendant shaped like a morning glory, a stunning ocean blue. "Why didn't you try to let me out?" she whispered, her voice tinged with sadness. Flashback. 2 years after Luna had been freed, everyone had celebrated the success of the experiment. Victor Robotnik had been comfortable leaving Luna and Amelia together. "Come on, Luna," a 7-year-old Amelia urged, pulling her by the arm. Okay. I'm trying." Luna giggled, following her best friend. "Look at the moon," Amelia said, pointing up to the large planet orbiting Earth. Luna was amazed by the sight. She'd never seen it this close before. "Wow, it's beautiful," she gasped. "I know. That's why I named you after the moon," Amelia replied cheerfully. "But, my name is Luna," Luna said, confused. "No, silly. Luna means moon in Spanish. I thought it suited you because you shine so brightly. And one day, you'll shine brighter than the sun on Earth," Amelia explained, pointing at the planet she was talking about. Luna peered at the large green and blue planet behind the moon. "What's it like there?" she asked. "I don't remember much, but from what I remember, it's the best place to be. There's so much to do. I wish I could go back," Amelia sighed, continuing to stare at Earth and leaning against the window's ledge. "I promise we'll go back soon," Luna reassured, putting a hand on her back. "You really think so?" Amelia asked with a hopeful expression. "I know so," Luna smiled. Excited by Luna's promise, Amelia threw herself into Luna's arms. "Thank you, Luna," she whispered, holding on tightly. It was a warm feeling Luna would cherish forever. "You're welcome," she sighed, gently lifting Amelia off the ground. "Come on, you need some rest after today," Luna said, carrying her to another room. A protective Luna carefully placed Amelia in bed, covering her with blankets. There was nothing left to do except sit there and admire the view before her. "One day, Amelia, one day we'll go back together. You and me, forever." The memory of that night stayed with Luna for the rest of her life. Tears kept flowing down her cheeks as she reflected. "No matter how much I despise my past, I can never hate you." The small flower pendant remained close to her chest as she softly rubbed the center of it. Ahem, a voice interrupted her thoughts. Caught off guard, Luna quickly tucked the pendant under her shirt and turned to face her leader. "I hope you're prepared for the next phase of our mission," he said with irritation in his voice. "Of course, my apologies, sir." "What is my task?" she asked. "Good," he sneered. "Take this pack, it has more supplies you might need to capture those nuisances out there. You might have better luck heading into town to lure them in. Maybe try stealing something completely random. They'll come out for anything," Eggman ordered. "Of course, I'll be back soon. The Chaos Emeralds will be delivered to you soon," Luna said proudly before teleporting out of his sight. Pleased with his servant's commitment, Dr. Malvador decided to head to the dungeon where Silver and Blaze were being held inside the clear cylinder prison. The two of them were leaning against the walls, still trying to process what had just happened. "So, I see you've settled into your new home," he said, grinning wickedly. Silver and Blaze looked up in disbelief at seeing the doctor after so long. "Eggman," they shouted in unison. "Yes, that's me. Funny seeing you two back here. I thought you'd be soaking up the sun from the future," he chuckled darkly. "We were doing fine until that clone came and ruined everything." Silver snapped. "How did you even make another ultimate life form? Shadow is practically impossible to recreate." Blaze cried out. Dr. Malvador laughed as he twirled his mustache, making it puffier than ever. Ha! Even I know my skills wouldn't have created something as powerful as Shadow, he sneered. Then how? How? And why? What do you hope to achieve? What's your plan? Silver demanded. I'm glad you asked, Eggman said, signaling for Cubit to come over. Cubit projected a series of images from his eye, displaying blueprints for Eggman's scheme. You see, from the files I've unlocked, Luna can drain any lifeform's energy to the point that they're completely drained. When I capture all of you, I'll have my wonderful assistant take all your strength and absorb it for herself, giving her endless power to use for the next phase of my plan. Eggman explained, then Cubit shifted the view to a different slide showing a machine Eggman had designed. This is what I like to call the ultimate weapon. My plan is to use the Chaos Emeralds Luna has been stealing and use their power to energize this machine. This machine is built to destroy anything in its path that contains life. What I want to do is wipe out all lifeforms, then start a brand new empire that will be entirely mine, he said, laughing maniacally. What? Silver and Blaze shouted in shock and panic. Why, you mean you plan to wipe out all living things? Blaze cried. To build an empire? Silver added in disbelief. They were horrified by the discovery, staring at the mad scientist who seemed thrilled by the idea. I'll be back soon, just behave for now. Maybe I'll even let you watch the end of the world, he told them smugly before leaving the room. Stunned by this revelation, Blaze sank to the floor of her prison. She looked over at Silver, who was at a loss for words. Just when everything seemed perfect, someone comes along to ruin it all again. He sighed. We can't give up hope. There's nothing we can do right now, all we can do is hope and pray that Vega can get that message to the others, Blaze told him. We're not going down without a fight, she reassured him. Blaze placed her hand on the wall of the prison to comfort Silver, who placed his own hand against the clear barrier. They had no choice now but to wait. Chapter 7. While they were locked inside the lab, Vega found himself trapped in an endless time loop, unsure of where he was. How do I make this stop? He thought, desperately pressing the buttons on the machine Silver had given him earlier. After pressing another button, a portal suddenly opened, and he was back in his timeline. He stumbled out onto the land, gasping for air, still holding the machine in his hand. Ow, he groaned, slowly getting to his feet. As he looked around, he realized he was near Green Hill. Knowing he didn't have much time, he quickly got up and began limping forward. All right, I've got this. I must be careful, and I need to hurry, he muttered to himself as he continued his journey. After walking for what felt like 3 hours, he finally got closer to where he thought his friends might be, the Resistance Fort. Inside the fort, the others were busy discussing their plans. Okay, Thorn, we need you to guard the Master Emerald in case she tries to steal it. Sonic said firmly. Got it. Thorn replied. Rouge, Shadow, and Cream, hold on to those other Chaos Emeralds. You got it, hun. Rouge said enthusiastically. Now, we need to stall her long enough so we can capture her. Any updates from Silver, Blaze, or Vega? So far, I've heard nothing. He hasn't even read my message. Griff reported. That's odd. Vega never leaves a message unchecked, Ruby said, puzzled. Yeah, he usually responds in no time. Buzz added. Everyone exchanged worried looks, wondering what had happened to Vega and the others. Just then, a heavy knock on the door echoed through the room. Rouge walked over to the metal door, grasped the handle, and opened it. When she saw who it was, she gasped in shock. Vega, she cried out, her voice filled with panic. Hearing her distress, everyone rushed over and saw a bruised purple chameleon struggling to stand. Vega. What happened? Sonic asked, helping him balance. Vega tried to speak, but his mouth was dry, and he was out of breath. Tails quickly brought him some water, allowing him to drink as he collapsed onto a nearby bed. Dude, what happened? Sonic asked urgently. Vega took a moment to recover before looking at the others, trying to find his words. White, Hedgehog, attack. Silver and Blaze, don't know what happened. He explained slowly, his words coming out labored. Once Vega managed to explain, they noticed he had a fractured rib and a twisted wrist from his struggle. Take it easy now, okay? Ruby said gently, wrapping bandages around him. Vega nodded, doing his best to relax. What about that hedgehog? He asked, trying to meet their eyes. Don't worry, we'll deal with her. What all happened? Sonic reassured him. After a few moments of rest, Vega felt able to explain more clearly. I was visiting Silver and Blaze. We were just relaxing when this white hedgehog showed up. She wanted one of the Chaos Emeralds. At first, no one gave her one, but she managed to get her hands on it. Unfortunately, she already had 4 of them. I don't know what happened to Blaze or Silver, but last time I checked, they were defeated. He said, letting out a heavy sigh. Just out of curiosity, did you get the name of that random hedgehog? Ruby asked him softly. Luna. Luna the hedgehog. She claims to be the first ultimate life form, he answered. It was clear now, they were facing a real threat. Everyone looked at Shadow, who seemed taken aback by the news. Shadow, is everything okay? Rouge asked him, noticing his shock. It's not possible. He gasped. What's not possible? Sonic asked, confused. Victor never mentioned her. Neither did Amelia. They would never keep something like this from me, he snapped, clearly upset. I will say this. Luna mentioned you by name. And, sadly, she's working for Eggman. As if we didn't have enough problems already, Vega added grumpily. The room fell silent as everyone absorbed the weight of the situation. The only thing I'm worried about is, if she can defeat Silver, Blaze, and Vega, and she can beat Sonic, Tails, and Ruby, what else is she capable of? Thorn asked, his voice full of concern. She didn't defeat me. That girl caught me by surprise. Sonic snapped, defending himself. But Thorn has a point. Where did she even come from? Tails cried, thinking about the dangers they might face. Before anyone could say more, an alarm blared loudly. They all jumped in shock and rushed over to a screen to see what was happening in the nearby village. The security cameras revealed Luna, who was robbing a shop that sold specialized technology, just the kind Dr. Malvador might use. That Luna, she's messing with the wrong crew. Shadow growled, his anger rising as he rushed for the door. Wait. We need a strategy. Tails called after him. But it was too late. Ugh, I'm going after him. Rouge exclaimed, flying out the door after Shadow. Outside, Luna stood holding the stolen tech in her hands, a wicked smile on her face. People around her were trembling in fear, uncertain if she was going to hurt them. They'd never seen anyone like Luna. Why so scared? I haven't had any reason to hurt any of you. And please, if there's anyone I'm after, it's your so-called heroes who claim to be protecting you. Speaking of which, where are those annoying creatures? She asked, her voice laced with sarcasm. No one answered. Annoyed, Luna stopped hovering and slammed her boots into the ground, creating a mild tremor that made nearby objects fall over. Answer me, she shouted, her voice booming. Still shaken and recovering, the townspeople stood up and faced the situation. We don't know. They could be anywhere. How would we know? Please don't hurt us. Can we just talk this out? Ugh, this whole town is such a hassle. I wonder how Eggman has kept this earth alive for as long as he has, Luna muttered, annoyed. The crowd was puzzled by her statement, especially considering how often they had been attacked by the scientist. He's not keeping the earth alive. He's destroying it. And at a terribly fast rate. A woman shouted, then mumbled under her breath. Don't speak badly about my master. He's doing more for the earth than Victor Robotnik ever did. That's why I was created. I am the ultimate life form. You'll have a peaceful life if you just cooperate, Luna snapped back. Laughter erupted from the crowd after her outburst, finding the situation somewhat amusing. Is that shadow under all that white fur? Super edgy. Never thought you'd work like this again. Where'd you get that wig? Ha. This is hilarious. As they laughed, Shadow arrived in the town and saw Luna sitting on a pile of bricks. He was stunned. She looked just like Vega had described. In fact, he felt like he might have seen her before, but one thing was certain, he was staring her straight in the eyes as a sinister grin spread across her face. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 8. Well. Isn't this a surprise? I was wondering when I'd finally meet you. Luna said, standing up from her spot and smiling at him. The people around them began to panic as they realized two powerful hedgehogs were about to face off in the middle of the street. This hedgehog was unlike any Shadow had encountered before. Not even Metal Sonic or Mephiles could compete with her. She wasn't at all what he expected. But that didn't matter, he was there to end the problem. Never would have guessed you'd be the result of Project Shadow, Luna growled, finally stepping down to the ground. Let's just finish this, Shadow groaned, taking a defensive stance. Ah, you're the type who gets straight to the point. I like that we have something in common, bro. Luna said, grinning. I'm nothing like you. Shadow snarled. You're right, you're not, she sneered, teleporting out of his sight. Shadow stood still, looking around, confused about where she went. He grew frustrated, knowing she was toying with him now. She may be playing with me, but I'm not going to stop until I figure this out. Shadow waited, looking around, until he finally spotted her. She had moved to another spot and ran toward him. She leaped into the air, aiming a kick at him, but Shadow sensed her energy and moved aside. She teleported closer to him, grabbed his chest fur, and lifted him into the air. You had every chance to let me free. And you didn't. Luna screamed, kicking him back to the ground. Shadow grunted as he tried to recover, staring up at the white hedgehog still floating above him. I don't know what or who you are, but all I know is you're causing destruction and being a nuisance, he shouted. Luna gritted her teeth, her eyes glowing brightly. Fueled by rage, she dragged him through the ground, tearing up the earth. Shadow gathered his chaos energy and blasted her away from him. Luna spit dirt out of her mouth, summoning teal-colored flames in her hands and launching fireballs at his face. Shocked by the force of her power, Shadow crossed his arms in front of him and tried to stand his ground. The impact of the flames knocked him back so hard, a line was formed in the street from the force. Ugh, he groaned, collapsing to his knees. That's right. Bow down before the true ultimate life form. Luna mocked. You may have been the first, but that doesn't make you the true life form, Shadow snapped. Furious, Luna used telekinesis to lift rocks and rubble from the ground, making them float around her. By the time I'm finished with you, you won't even remember your name. Luna growled. Knowing this was going to be a tough battle, Shadow pulled out a Chaos Emerald from his quills. We'll see about that, he growled. Luna sent the floating objects towards him with incredible speed. Shadow stood firm, and the Chaos Emerald began to glow brightly. Chaos Blast, he shouted, unleashing a brilliant beam that shattered the incoming rubble into pieces. Luna retaliated by making the ground beneath them tremble, causing an earthquake. Pieces of buildings, trees, and other objects began falling toward them. How can someone so similar to me cause more destruction than I can? Shadow thought as he jumped from object to object, trying to catch up to Luna, who was waiting for him to fall. Thinking he was done for, Luna turned around and began to hover away. But before she could get far, something tackled her from behind, slamming her to the ground. Your tricks are cheap. Let me show you what a true life form can do, Shadow said, using his emerald to absorb the energy he needed. He dashed toward her. Chaos Control, he yelled, the emerald glowing brightly again. Time around Luna slowed down, and she suddenly couldn't move away from Shadow. She didn't realize the power she was up against. Seizing the chance, Shadow grabbed Luna by the collar of her leather jacket and slammed her into a building wall, pinning her there. There's nowhere to run now. Shadow growled, gripping her throat. Tell me, why have I never heard of you before? He demanded. Luna gasped for air, trying to kick him off, but she was too weak to fight back. I don't know. Why did Victor and Amelia shut me away? Why was I replaced? I did nothing wrong. It was an accident. But they locked me away. Luna cried out, tears streaming down her face as she remembered her past. I did everything they asked. I followed their orders without question. But it didn't matter. I wasn't what they wanted me to be. I had a destiny. I had my future planned, but it was taken from me. She explained, her voice filled with pain. What are you talking about? I've never heard of you in my life. Why am I only hearing about this now? Amelia would have told me about you. She told me everything that happened before I was created. She wouldn't lie to me. Shadow cried out, his voice filled with disbelief. Except, all the things she said seemed believable. This can't be happening. Oh, but it is, it's true and the secret's out. You can't avoid the truth. Shadow, she growled. Liar. Amelia wouldn't hide something like this, he snapped, shoving her to the ground. Wanna bet? Luna asked, standing up carefully, flipping her quills to the side. After all, the world has been known to keep secrets before. Shadow could only stand there, unsure whether to believe what she was saying or not. Still don't believe me, she taunted. He said nothing. Fine. Then just take a look. Maybe then you'll understand, she said with a smirk. Using the Chaos Emerald at her side, Luna held it close, her eyes glowing again, and then flashed something in front of Shadow's face. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 9. The Ark. Shadow was all too familiar with this place. The place he wished he had never been. He was lying on the floor of a room when he saw someone who looked like Victor. Shocked by this, he got up and walked toward him. You sir? He asked, but as soon as he went to touch the man's shoulder, his hand passed through like a ghost. Our experiment has been a success, gentlemen. We've done great with this latest project. Now, is there anything we should be looking for in all this? Victor asked. Perhaps we should be concerned with what could stop her if things go wrong. Anyone with that kind of power is already a threat, one worker replied. All right, any suggestions? Victor acknowledged. They began going over many aspects of the project, none of which interested Shadow. Most of the things they talked about didn't concern him or anyone else. After a few minutes, Shadow gave up on listening and began wandering around the place. He soon came across another room. Was that, giggling? Shadow peeked in and was stunned to see Amelia and Luna together in one room. Luna was sitting on the floor, showing little emotion, but she wasn't being threatening to Amelia. Can I brush your hair? Amelia asked, holding a small brush in her hand. In response, Luna nodded and allowed Amelia to gently brush her quills. You're so pretty, Amelia said happily. Seeing this made Shadow tear up, watching his best friend so happy, so young. Thank you. I suppose if you think so, I am, Luna replied flatly. Do you know anything about me? I don't. But I serve a command, to protect and serve. Most importantly, I protect you. That's not a problem for me. I must do what is needed, Luna said, sounding distant. Surprised by her emotionless tone, Shadow didn't know what to think of his sister. Are you okay? Amelia asked her. I feel fine. Existence isn't easy. I haven't been alive until now, Luna replied. Well, I'll help you every step of the way. You're going to have so much fun. Oh, wait. I almost forgot. Amelia said, reaching behind her to pull something out of her pocket. I wasn't sure what to get, since you weren't alive to tell me what you liked, but I tried to find something special, she said, smiling. Luna watched her carefully, intrigued, as Amelia handed her a small box. What am I supposed to do with this? Luna asked, curiously. Open it, silly. Just undo the ribbon and lift the lid. Amelia explained, beaming. Following Amelia's instructions, Luna opened the box and found a baby blue necklace shaped like a morning glory. It's nice, Luna said, handing the necklace back to Amelia. Oh. It's for you to wear. Amelia said excitedly. Here, I'll help you. With a little help from Amelia, she fastened the necklace around Luna's neck. There. Much better. Amelia said happily. Luna fiddled with the necklace, nodding. Thank you. It's very much appreciated, Luna said, genuinely. Of course. It's my favorite flower. Promise me you'll never take it off. Amelia asked, her eyes wide with hope. Of course. I will always follow my orders. Luna replied. With that request settled, Amelia hugged Luna tightly, whispering, You're my best friend. For the first time in her existence, Luna smiled and returned her hug. Shadow felt a tear slip down his cheek. He couldn't believe that Amelia had kept something like this for so long. Suddenly, there was another bright flash. Shadow found himself in another room, filled with labs, machines, chemicals, and chaos. Stop her. This is dangerous. Victor shouted. Grandpa, it was an accident, an older Amelia cried out tearfully. She's too strong, one of the workers yelled. Shadow looked down at the ground and saw a shattered chaos emerald lying there. He bent down and picked up the small shards, inspecting them. I thought Thorn was the only one who could break these. He sighed. Luna. Please calm down. It'll be okay. Amelia begged, reaching for the glowing hedgehog's hand. Get away from me. You're just going to lock me away. Luna roared, lightning flashing all around her. Papers and other objects flew through the air. I command you to stop. Victor yelled. I won't listen to you anymore. I won't listen to a traitor. Luna shouted again. Shadow watched as a huge bottle of acid was thrown in his direction. He quickly dodged it. After a few more minutes of chaos, Amelia tried to approach Luna once again. Please. You have to stop. Amelia pleaded. Why? You're going to lock me away. What's the point? With a gentle touch, they held each other's hands and looked into each other's eyes. I won't let them. As much as you promised me to protect and serve me, I will return the favor to you. But you have to calm down. I know you're upset, I know you don't have control, and I know it's scary. But we can do this together. Seeing an opportunity, a scientist quickly grabbed a small syringe and filled it up with a liquid. Together, Luna. You and me. I need you too, she pleaded. Luna began to calm down, her glowing stopped, and she gently lowered herself back to the ground. They hugged, Luna and Amelia smiling at each other. Amelia felt relief, happy to have her friend back. Just when things seemed peaceful, Luna suddenly jolted back, her hand going to her neck. She pulled out a syringe that had been stuck in her. The scientist who had injected her started to retreat quickly. Angered, Luna tried to attack but was already feeling the effects of the drug. Luna. Amelia cried, catching her friend as she began to fall. Surprised by the betrayal, Luna weakly tried to push Amelia away. I did everything for you. She muttered. Heartbroken, Amelia cried as Luna closed her eyes and rolled to one side. I'm so sorry. She sobbed. Shadow stood there, shocked by the scene, but his attention was soon drawn to something on the other side of the room. Is Project Shadow still intact? Victor asked an employee. Yes, it appears to be fine. Shadow saw another tube where his form was still being created. It'll be okay. She just wasn't the one. I'm sorry. Victor whispered, hugging his granddaughter tightly. As they cried, others began to lift Luna off the ground and took her away to another room. Nothing else happened. They locked her in a tube and placed her in a storage room where no one could reach her. A keypad lock was added to the door before they left. When everyone had gone, Shadow quietly walked through the door and entered the room where the tube was. Inside, he saw a ghostly image of Luna standing in front of the tube, staring at herself trapped inside. Do you believe me now? She asked, a tear falling down her cheek. Amelia never wanted to hurt you, Shadow muttered, feeling a sudden pang of sadness. They could have let me out, but they didn't. I can't really blame them. All because I wasn't perfect in their eyes, Luna said quietly. Shadow was filled with a sense of sympathy he had never felt before. He felt guilty, knowing he was part of the reason for her pain. I'm sorry. Even though we didn't know each other, you didn't deserve this, Shadow said sincerely. Luna felt a hand touch her shoulder, and her anger turned to hatred. She had had enough of being used. I don't need your pity, she snapped. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 10. After being blasted out of the past by the Chaos Emerald, Shadow fell hard. He hit his head but quickly got up. Luna's eyes glowed again as she formed a teal flame in her hand while making objects fly around her. They replaced me. For you, she screamed, sending a blast at him. The attack was similar to a chaos blast, but much stronger. The blast sent Shadow flying, crashing into buildings. Though weakened, Shadow found strength and quickly rushed toward her. Chaos control, he yelled. Using his power to freeze time around her, he quickly grabbed her arm and twisted it behind her, trying to stop her. Luna. Listen to me. You're not alone. But you can't go on like this. Shadow shouted, holding on to her tightly. Don't play with me, she snarled, getting down on her knees, using her legs to push Shadow to the ground. Luna now had the upper hand, twisting Shadow's wrist painfully. You're coming back with me. I'll show this world what it really needs. Luna declared. Dr. Malvador will make sure the Earth gets what it's been missing, something you clearly couldn't provide. That last part confused Shadow. Eggman, the villain who was always up to no good? W8? Dr. Malvador? He found you? He asked, shocked. Yes. If that wasn't clear enough. Luna shouted, twisting his wrist even harder. Ack. YUV made it clear. But look, I've been where you are. He's just going to backstab you. All our creators and rulers are liars. They only want something from us. Shadow warned. Why should I believe you? She yelled, snapping his wrist and tossing him off into the distance. Shadow winced in pain as he stood up, clutching his arm tightly. Her anger was terrifying. Luna was walking toward him, the ground around her crumbling as she approached. You should have killed me when you had the chance, she growled. Chaos SP-, she started, but was suddenly cut off as someone tackled her to the ground. Her head hit the pavement, and the Chaos Emerald rolled closer to Shadow. Ugh! Get off me! Luna snapped. Not a chance, Rouge replied, pinning her down. Luna struggled, reaching for a hidden knife in her sleeve, trying to hit anything nearby. Shadow, help! Rouge cried, trying to dodge Luna's weapon. Shadow rushed over and pinned down one of her arms. I've got this one, he called out. Luna wasn't going to stay down for long. She used her telekinesis to move nearby rubble and rocks, hurling them at their faces. Rouge, look out! Shadow yelled, grabbing his friend and pulling her out of the way. Before they could react, Luna grabbed the Chaos Emerald she had dropped and dashed away. Only then did Shadow and Rouge realize she was trying to escape. "We need to stop her," Shadow said urgently. "Understood, I'll send out the message," Rouge responded, pulling out her wristwatch. "Luna's on the loose." "Repeat, Luna is on the loose. We need to find her. We have to catch her," she ordered. "On it," the voices from the watch responded. Luna, thinking she was safe, took a deep breath and hid in an alleyway. Despite hating her brother and his friends, she knew it wasn't the right time to defeat them. "Excuse me? Miss?" a voice called out to her. Shocked, Luna jerked back into the alleyway and saw a small rabbit with her chow. "Oh, I didn't mean to startle you. But I was wondering, have you seen any of my friends? I've lost my way after chasing them to get here. I'm not very fast." Cream said, laughing. "Why, your friends?" "Oh, no. I don't think so," Luna sighed. "Could you help me? I don't like being by myself." Cream whimpered. "Choo choo." Cheese added. Seeing how upset she was, Luna sighed, pushed her emotions aside, and walked toward her. "All right, I'll help you," Luna muttered and gently nudged Cream along. "Yay. Thank you. What's your name?" Cream asked. "It's Luna." "Wow, really? That's so cool. Where'd you come from?" "This little rabbit girl, she's a lot like Amelia." I'm from space," Luna said softly. "Ooh, really? What's it like?" "It's rather lonely. Unless you have someone there with you," Luna replied. "Did you like it up there?" "I did, for a while." They kept walking, and Cream kept asking more questions, while Luna didn't mind too much. She was surprised that she could tolerate someone so cheerful, unlike everyone else she'd met. As they walked, Luna noticed that Cream and Cheese were getting sleepy. They yawned and rubbed their eyes as they walked. "You're tired, aren't you?" Luna asked. "Maybe just a little bit." Cream smiled, trying to shake it off. It was late in the night. Luna figured there wouldn't be any more problems. She gently lifted Cream, as if she was still an infant, and placed Cheese in a small backpack she carried. After getting them both comfortable, she carefully flew into the sky, looking down at the ground below. "If I wasn't so sleepy, I'd be a little scared being this high up," Cream said. "Don't worry, I won't let anything bad happen to you," Luna reassured her. "Look out for those who need it. The world needs someone like you," Luna thought, remembering the words Amelia had told her long ago. A little while later, Luna saw a mother looking around frantically. She flew down and saw Vanilla, searching for her child. When Vanilla noticed Luna, her face lit up. "Oh my goodness, please. I know who you are. I just want my baby," she cried. Luna had never seen someone so frightened. She looked down at Cream, still asleep, and approached Vanilla cautiously. Vanilla backed up, staring at her in fear. But instead of doing anything threatening, Luna gently handed Cream back to Vanilla. Then she carefully took Cheese out, realizing he had dropped a Chaos Emerald into her bag. However, Luna decided to keep that detail to herself. "I didn't let anything bad happen to them. I'll be out of your way now," Luna said, before flying off into the sky. Vanilla stood there, frozen, not understanding what had just happened. Luna flew into an alley, her mind racing about the encounter with Cream. While there was nothing that would stop her mission, there was something about these creatures that felt special. Why was it like that? She didn't understand. But now, helping the Earth had a much deeper meaning to her. Still, she knew she had to make a cruel move soon. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 11. It had been a while since anyone had seen Luna, and it was getting darker. Things were starting to feel more dangerous. "Any sign of her?" Sonic asked Thorn, who had just walked up to him. Nope, no clue. I've searched almost everywhere, but I can't sense the Chaos Emeralds, Thorn replied. Tails soon joined them, relieved to see his friends. Oh, hey little buddy. Did you find anything? Sonic asked. Nope. No sign of Luna anywhere. Tails said, sounding frustrated. This is really starting to get dangerous, Thorn sighed. They stood there for a while, waiting for something to change. Finally, Rouge and Shadow showed up, relieved to see familiar faces. Sonic. Thorn. Rouge shouted, rushing toward them, with Shadow limping behind her. All three of them quickly ran up to meet the pair. What happened to your wrist? Tails asked Shadow. We were trying to catch Luna, but she ended up escaping. Rouge explained quickly. She also gave me something to remember her by, Shadow grunted, still clutching his injured wrist. Hold still. Thorn instructed, carefully adjusting his wrist. With a quick movement, Thorn snapped it back into place, causing Shadow to cry out in pain. But now it seemed to be better than before. I thought she broke it? Rouge asked, surprised. She did. I heal quickly, Shadow growled. Once everything was settled, they looked up to see Vanilla walking toward them, still holding Cream in her arms. Oh, thank goodness I found you, she gasped, running toward the group. Vanilla. Is everything okay? Thorn asked, concerned. For the most part, yes. But I happened to see that new hedgehog. Luna, was it? She explained. Why yeah, what happened? Is Cream okay? Sonic asked, noticing Cream was asleep. She's fine. All Luna did was bring her back to me after she got lost. I was so scared Luna would hurt her, but she didn't. Not to either of them, Vanilla said, relieved. So she's not completely evil, Shadow thought, remembering how harsh Luna had been with everyone else. We have to find her. Who knows what else she's planning to do? Tails said urgently. He's right. Cream doesn't have her Chaos Emerald anymore, Vanilla added, checking her pockets for the emerald. Must have been taken. That means we need to be on guard, Thorn realized. The group agreed and decided to leave while Vanilla took Cream with her. They searched the area, unsure of where Luna had gone or what she was planning. It was eerie not knowing where she was or what she might do next. They knew it would be terrifying if they ran into her. How can we find her if she's never in sight? Tails groaned as they walked. Don't worry, little buddy. I'm sure we'll find something soon. Sonic reassured, keeping his spirits high as they walked. The city was quiet now, but suddenly, a loud crash came from an alleyway. The loud noise startled everyone, and they all peered into the alleyway to figure out what was happening. Could it be Luna? As they prepared for a possible fight, a figure appeared in front of them, stumbling and falling. Vega, they all shouted in unison. Vega had bruises all over his body, and there was a small trickle of blood on his knee. What happened to you? Rouge asked, rushing over to help him stand up. I got attacked. Luna found the rest of our group and attacked us. She's been gathering more energy. I'm lucky I made it out, Vega explained weakly. Let me check your injuries. Tails offered, gently touching the bruises. Vega winced but managed to stay still, the pressure making it more bearable. Everything seems all right, Tails concluded. Once everything settled, they glanced down the alley where Vega had come from. Where are the others? Shadow asked, his tone filled with suspicion. They're back that way. I'm sorry. I was so tired, I had to get out of the line of fire, Vega gasped. No one questioned him, and they decided to head in the direction he had come from. As they walked, everything seemed calm. Where exactly are they? Rouge asked. Down near that building over there. It's a bit of a walk, Vega replied, guiding them to the back alley. The atmosphere grew darker and more ominous the farther they went. The air felt heavy and a little spooky. I still don't see them, Thorn said, his eyes scanning the area. Just a little further. Vega reassured them. Finally, when they reached the end of the alley, they stopped. There's nothing here. Sonic shouted, waving his arms in frustration. Yeah, this is getting creepy, Rouge added. Vega kicked a nearby streetlight to turn it on. That's when they finally saw what had happened. The gang was all sprawled out on the ground, unconscious. No one was moving. Oh no. Tails gasped, rushing to Buzz. Buzz, wake up, he cried, nudging him. But when he rolled Buzz over, he saw a strange collar around his neck. What is this thing? Tails asked, trying to remove it. As he tried, something hit him on the head, making him yelp. He collapsed next to Buzz. Everyone looked at Vega, who appeared unfazed, almost as if he had thrown a boomerang. Vega. What the heck? Tails didn't do anything to you. What's wrong with you? Rouge yelled. Vega just laughed, a dark, wicked laugh that confused everyone. Vega, if you don't stop laughing, I'll give you something to make you quit. Thorn threatened. Vega wiped a tear away from his eye. Then, suddenly, his appearance began to change. His spines disappeared, his clothes morphed, and his body shape shifted. That's when they realized, this wasn't Vega. Ha! I can't believe how dumb you all are. Luna cackled, shaking her quills. How can you call yourselves heroes? She mocked, grinning evilly. You! What did you do? Sonic demanded. Luna shrugged and kicked over a trash can, and Vega fell out of it, still trying to wriggle free from his bonds. Thanks to your friend here, I was able to use his form to find all of you. I thought he had outlived his usefulness, Luna sneered. Well, it's too bad you're outnumbered. Rouge said, trying to keep her confidence up. Heh. Luna chuckled. Vega tried his best to shake his head, signaling the group to be cautious. I wouldn't be too sure about that, Luna said, pulling out a tranquilizer gun from her pocket. Big dose for creatures like you. Night-night, she smirked before firing multiple shots. Each shot hit Rouge, Thorn, and Sonic, causing them to fall first. Shadow could only watch as the tranquilizer's effect was slower on him. You're gonna regret this. Shadow growled, collapsing to his knees. And why would I? I've got everything I need for my leader now. Luna replied, smugly. With that, Shadow collapsed on his side, glancing at Vega with a tired look in his eyes before he closed them in defeat. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 12. Ugh, everything is spinning. Wait a minute. I'm not in the same place anymore, where am I? The last thing I remember is... Good morning, sunshine, a growl came. Shadow slowly opened his eyes and saw Luna leaning against a wall, smirking at his defeat. Furious to see her, Shadow tried to lunge at her, but he couldn't move. Ha! You really thought you could beat me again? Why did Victor have to create someone as useless as you? I mean, I got the worst excuse for a brother, Luna mocked. What did you do? Where are the others? Shadow demanded. Oh, your other friends? They're right where they should be. Don't worry about it, she snapped. Shadow realized he couldn't break free as easily as he had hoped. He was chained to the wall, cuffs holding him back from using his powers. Nothing was letting him go. I would stay and tell you how pathetic you are, but Master Eggman needs me, Luna said, turning to leave. But Shadow had to say something. What would Amelia say? He asked. Luna froze. She turned around, unsure how to respond to his words. What would she say about what you're doing? She wanted Earth to be protected, not destroyed. You of all people should understand that. What you're doing is wrong, and it's only going to make things worse, not better, he said. Luna clenched her fist, her eyes glowing with rage. You have no idea what I've been through, she shouted. Her quills darkened to a deep purple, the grief taking over her emotions. Even though we never knew each other. We're not so different, you and I. I promise you that, Shadow said softly. I highly doubt that, Luna responded. Okay, do you want to know the difference between you and me? Shadow asked. I wouldn't hang out with lowlives for friends, Luna sneered. No. Look, we've both been used and betrayed multiple times, but I didn't stick with someone who kept trying to destroy the earth. I've finally learned how to do the right thing myself, Shadow replied firmly. Plus, I gained something from all of this. Oh really? And what exactly is that? I gained freedom. Once Luna heard that, she threw her head back and laughed loudly. Oh really? You think this is freedom? Please. Besides, I have freedom. Dr. Malvador freed me from my cage, so how am I not free from these chains? She responded. Well, for one, Eggman is a villain and he's using you. I should know, he did the same to me. I wish I had figured it out sooner, Shadow replied. Eggman isn't a villain. He's saving the Earth. He promised me power once the Earth is healed. Really? And how is he healing the Earth exactly? Because the last time I checked, all you've been doing is destroying everything in your path, Shadow said. Only because you got in my way. Pfft. Not my fault you attacked us. Listen, despite what he tells you, he's not going to make things better. You're going to regret it. Still fuming with anger, Luna shook her head, not believing him. You're just jealous that you couldn't do it right the first time. Rolling his eyes, Shadow became more frustrated by the second. As if I could be jealous. I'm not under his control anymore, am I? He replied. I'm not being controlled. I'm just helping him. After all, that's what I promised in return. Luna responded, flipping her quills. We're going to be the change that's been needed for so long. Now, I'd love to stay and enjoy your defeat some more, but I've got other things to do, she said, starting to walk toward the door of his cell. When you realize he lied, it'll be too late. It's not too late to fix things now. Villains don't get happy endings, Luna, Shadow warned as she stepped out. Luna let his words sink in but then shrugged them off with a scoff before leaving the room. Finally, she thought, I can leave this ebony nuisance behind. Time to go see Dr. Malvador and figure out what's next for this mission. But, this is the right thing, of course, it is. Master Eggman wouldn't lie to me like that, not like the others. Luna walked into the room where the others were locked in their cells. They all looked either bored or upset in the prison they were kept in. The moment Luna entered, their faces changed. Well, I hope you're comfortable, she sneered. Debatable. It'd be nice to get this stupid collar off, Thorn growled. Same for these cuffs, Sonic mumbled. Don't worry, you won't have to worry about that much longer, Luna assured them. At that moment, Dr. Malvador entered the room. Luna immediately knelt and bowed her head. Master Eggman, everything is ready when you are, she said. Excellent. Well done, Luna. Honestly, you've done better than ever. Before, we couldn't capture all these nuisances. But with you, we've accomplished so much more, he acknowledged her efforts. Now, run along for now. Earth's rebirth will be here before we know it. I need to speak with these pests for a while. Your next instructions will come soon, he ordered. Yes, Dr. Malvador, I'll be nearby, Luna responded before leaving the room. Once the door closed behind her, Dr. Malvador chuckled to himself. What's your plan? We all know you don't plan on saving anything, Sonic snapped, clearly suspicious. Everyone else was also curious about what Eggman had planned. Hee hee. You know me too well, Blue Rat. Blaze and Silver here have finally learned the hard way. Everything they've worked for will lead to a grim outcome. As I've said before, Luna can drain any lifeform's energy to make herself stronger. With your power, she'll become unstoppable. GUN agencies are already trying to capture her for their own benefit. Without them in our way, I'll use Luna to power my machine with the Chaos Emeralds she's collected. I'll use this machine to destroy all life. There will be nothing left on this miserable planet, he explained, laughing maniacally. Everyone except Rouge gasped and stepped back. Out of all the things you could do with those Chaos Emeralds, you chose to destroy Earth with them? Wow, Doctor. I didn't know you had sunk this low. Rouge smirked, teasing him. Well, Ms. Bat, I'll say this, all empires must be built somehow. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a world to conquer. Enjoy your stay, though you won't be around to enjoy it. Oh well. Hopefully, you enjoyed your freedom while you had it, he said, leaving the room and locking the door behind him. There was nowhere to go. No one to help. The end of the world was getting closer. Hey, listen, guys. No matter what happens to us, we'll be okay. Somehow, I don't know how, but we're going to get out of here. Sonic reassured, trying to keep hope alive. Sonic, it's over. There's no way we're getting out of this, whatever this is. As much as I hate to admit it, I know there's nothing else to do. Tails said sadly, lowering his head in defeat. No one said anything else. They all knew the end was near. At least I got to have a life with you guys in it, Sonic said, trying to smile despite the circumstances. Though they were all upset, they tried to stay positive during their final moments. If it meant they'd only be here a little while longer, they'd make the most of it. Chapter 13. Luna wandered down the hallway, looking for something to do while waiting for further instructions on the plan. As she walked, Orbit and Cubit were busy sorting through notes to prepare the machine for its massive destruction. Well, everything seems in order. We just need to wait for the doctor to give his approval, Orbit said. I wish we didn't have to wait all the time. This job takes forever. Cubit sighed. They typed a few things into the computer and were relieved to have everything prepared for the next phase of the plan. It's finally all set up. Orbit said. Oh yeah. This thing is going to burn everything in its path. Cubit cheered. The computer made a series of clicks and squeaks before emitting a soft beep. Transition complete. Annihilation of all Earth's lifeforms is ready. Awaiting your command, a voice echoed. Alright, just need to finish getting everything in order and... Cubit began. You might want to stop talking right now. Orbit interrupted sharply. Behind them, Luna appeared, her fists tightly clenched. So, you've been doing things behind Dr. Malvador's back. Slowly, both robots were lifted off the ground and brought to her level. They struggled to break free but failed, terrified of what she could do. Once I'm done with you, no one will ever be able to fix your outer shell again, she declared. Wait. You don't understand. Orbit pleaded. I don't want to hear it, she growled. A loud popping sound echoed through their bodies, and they squirmed in discomfort. Luna, a shout came. Surprised by the voice, Luna released them, dropping them to the ground, and turned to look at the doctor in shock. Doctor. I'm sorry, but they were trying to change the purpose of your machine. They were altering it to destroy everything on Earth. Luna gasped. Oh. Were they? Dr. Malvador asked, raising an eyebrow. Yes. Honestly, how foolish they were to think they could get away with it, she sighed, frustrated. Aren't you going to do something about it? She asked, looking up at him. Eggman adjusted his goggles and pinched his mustache. I think not, he replied. Luna gave him a confused look, unsure of what he meant. Sir, not to be disrespectful, but I believe a traitor shouldn't be part of our work. Eggman chuckled to himself. Don't worry, Luna. They didn't do anything wrong as far as we're concerned, he reassured her. What do you mean? Of course, they did. They're trying to destroy the planet, she cried. Eggman placed a hand on her shoulder and tried to comfort her. Don't worry, Luna. They were just following my instructions. What? No. You didn't. She cried, her voice breaking. Oh, but I did. Eggman laughed. But that doesn't make sense. Why would you want to destroy everything? You said we would be fixing everything, right? She wondered. Oh, of course. I promised you that. We're just wiping out the Earth now so we can start over and build a new colony. I mean, we can't have all of them taking up space, can we? He said nonchalantly. Luna's heart sank. Shadow was right, he had lied to her. He lied. Why you lied? You said I'd be part of the Earth's rebirth, not its destruction, she shouted. Don't worry. You are. We'll just destroy the Earth first, then build a new colony. Eggman replied, completely unfazed. Rage surged through Luna, her power growing stronger. Parts of the building around them started shaking and falling. The two robots, Orbit and Cubit, panicked, running around in confusion. Eggman, however, pulled out a remote and pressed a button. The effect was immediate. Luna's strength began to weaken, and she cried out in pain, collapsing to her knees and using her hands to steady herself. I figured you might figure this out the hard way, Eggman said, smirking. Little did I know, Orbit and Cubit had already hacked your files and found some useful information on my part. I had no idea your only weakness was the morning glory. It's already in your bloodstream. All I need is a special remote to activate it. Ha! I guess that's why you wear one around your neck. To remind you how weak you really are, he explained, laughing loudly. Eggman pressed the remote again, and Luna regained her strength, slowly standing up. She stared at him in shock, unable to understand what he was planning next. Now, Luna, you have two choices, Dr. Malvador said, his voice suddenly more serious. 1. You can help me create my colony and assist me in building the world I truly deserve, no matter what the cost. Or, he said, pulling out what looked like a syringe, you can go back into that little tube of yours, and I'll never let you out again. Trust me, Luna. I've already figured out how to finish my plan. You've outlived your usefulness. I only kept you around to collect my energy, he said, waving the remote in her face. So, what's it going to be? He asked, eagerly awaiting her decision. He's going to destroy Earth, with everything on it, and all the living creatures, the ones I was supposed to protect. I still want to continue my mission, but I can't. Fine. You win. I'll help you. I made a promise to serve the one who freed me. So, I'll follow your plan as you wish, Luna replied, her voice filled with sadness. Excellent. I'm glad you finally came to your senses, Luna. Eggman said with a grin. I'll be back in a minute. Just need to pour myself a glass of evil ginger ale, he cackled, and the two robots followed him down the hall. The pain from the dose of the morning glory was unbearable, but Luna knew she couldn't let Eggman win. No matter what, she had to stop what she had helped create. Despite not knowing anything about computers, Luna didn't let that stop her. Deliver your command, the robotic voice demanded. Yes, oh. I need you to burst a hole in the radiation part. Luna replied. Bursting a hole into the mainframe will result in serious damage. Would you like to proceed anyway? Yes. Okay. I will proceed with your instructions. Is there anything else you need? Shadow and his team are the only ones who can stop the machine. Maybe I should try to free them, she thought. I need a key to any of the prisons, she said at last. Keys are delivered to your left. Will that be all? For now, yes. I have a mission to complete. Luna grabbed the keys from a small cup that was delivered to her and rushed down the halls. She saw that Dr. Malvador was too distracted to notice her intentions. She entered Shadow's prison, which was separate from the others. Punching in the password on the keypad, she was granted access. When Shadow saw her, he looked confused, seeing her so frantic. Why are you here? He growled. Believe me, I'm not here to cause you any more trouble than I already have, she reassured him, taking the keys out of her pocket. Shadow, thinking she was about to hurt him, squirmed in his cuffs, trying to avoid her touch. "I already told you, you don't need to be afraid," she snapped. "And why would I?" he started to argue, but Luna quickly placed her hand over his mouth. "You need to stay quiet. I don't want anyone to hear us," she whispered. Once she removed her hand, she used the key to unlock his cuffs. "Don't move yet. Wait about 15 minutes before you leave. Use these keys to free your friends. The code for their cell keypads is 1444. I'll make sure you all have enough time to escape, and maybe even stop him. But I can't promise what he'll do," Luna explained as she hurried to the door. "Wait." Shadow called out. "Why? Why the sudden change of heart?" For a moment, Luna was silent. Then, as she stepped out the door, a tear slid down her cheek, revealing a deep sorrow. Because I have a mission. One I can't fail. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you earlier," she said, and with that, she left, leaving the door slightly open for his escape. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting subsequent interesting daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 14. As Shadow sat there, waiting for the right moment to escape, he thought about the unlikely person who had chosen to help them. So, she finally discovered the truth. No one ever listens to me. Ugh. I can't believe it. There's already a problem with the machine. Perfect. Let's get moving before it messes up everything. Eggman shouted. Right away, sir, came 3 quick replies. Shadow heard the clatter of footsteps down the hall, passing right by his door. When the sound of their steps faded and the loud slam of a metal door echoed, Shadow seized the chance. He jerked his wrist free from the cuffs, causing himself to tumble to the side. Once he regained his balance, he tore off the cuffs on his feet and stood, ready to run. He sprinted down the halls, looking for the others. Finally, he found them, locked inside strange cylindrical cells, bored yet filled with worry. Get up and stop lying on the floor, Shadow ordered as he began to punch in the code on the keypad. One by one, he freed them from their cells and released them from their restraints. Hold on a second, how did you get out? Sonic asked, clearly surprised. You won't believe it, that white hedgehog let me out, Shadow responded. What? Are you serious? Ruby gasped. Why would she do that? Didn't she want to work for Eggman or something? Rouge asked, confused. I'm not sure myself, but I think she discovered what Eggman was really up to. Not that I hadn't warned her before. We need to figure out a way to slow him down. I'm sure she let us out for that reason. Does anyone know where the machine is? Shadow explained. No idea, looks like we're going to have to find it ourselves. Thorn said. He has all 7 Chaos Emeralds. Is there anything he doesn't have? Vega asked, frustrated. After thinking for a moment, Tails had an idea. Thorn, what about the Master Emerald? We could use it to get the other Chaos Emeralds, right? I think so, but we need to hurry. Thorn answered. They all nodded in agreement and raced out in different directions to complete their mission. Something kept nagging at Shadow's mind. Why on earth would she let me out? Didn't she hate me? He asked himself as he raced around, looking for the machine they needed. According to Luna, they had very little time before Eggman returned and realized everything had gone wrong. Where was the machine? Would they find it before it was too late? The fate of the world depended on it. Hours later, Eggman had repaired the machine and was heading back to the base. Good thing we caught that flaw before it was too late. Can you imagine if we had fired before we were ready? Eggman sighed with relief as they walked back into the base. Indeed, sir, Orbit sighed. I suppose so. Cubit said cheerfully. Only Luna remained quiet, her thoughts elsewhere. She had hoped that Shadow and the others had managed to escape and find the machine before it was too late. Get ready for the machine launch, Luna. You're going to drain those life forms. We're about to take over this planet, and once we're done, we'll build our own colony. The world will be ours to control. This new beginning for the colony is everything to me. You better not mess this up, Eggman said sternly, glaring at his followers. Luna rolled her eyes and looked away. When they arrived, they went straight to the room where everyone had been held. But as soon as Eggman entered, his heart stopped. What? They were right here. Eggman shouted in disbelief, scanning the room. All the cages were empty, and the restraints were scattered across the floor. No. How did they get out? He gasped. Racing to the room where Shadow had been held, he found the same situation. Ack. This was one of the final pieces we needed to complete our plan. Now we can't even move forward. What does a scientist have to do to make their experiment work? He shouted, furiously kicking things around. Then it struck him, this couldn't possibly be a mere accident. Don't you three find it odd that all of them are escaping just as the machine broke? He asked, glancing at them. Orbit and Cubit shrugged, while Luna looked anxious, though she tried to hide it. And don't you think it's strange that the machine malfunctioned right after I shared my true intentions for it with a certain someone? He asked, staring at Luna, who avoided his gaze. Eggman stepped closer to her, getting right up in her face. Any ideas how this could have happened, Luna? He asked, his voice sharp. No sir, I have no idea at all, she replied calmly. Growing impatient with her response, Eggman pulled out the switch and pressed the button again. Luna fell to the ground, writhing in pain as the morning glory effect coursed through her veins, stinging terribly. I've had enough of your behavior. You did something, didn't you? He shouted. So what if I did? Why, you're a tyrant. Just like your grandfather. Both of you let me down. And you're failing Earth. I couldn't let you destroy it. This place is too important. I promise to always protect it. It's not my fault you have a problem with humanity, she snapped. Eggman switched off the machine, letting her rest. Luna exhaled, trying to stay calm and figure out how to handle the enemy in front of her. You're lucky I need you now more than ever. Otherwise, I would have gotten rid of you already. Eggman snapped. You are going to find those pests and bring them back here for extraction. And what if I don't? Luna challenged. Eggman sneered and pointed to the room where her large test tube still stood. I'll just put you back in that cage. You and I both know you don't want to go back there. So, you'll do what I say, he said. Luna didn't want to help him. But she certainly didn't want to go back into the cage either. Yuji, she yelled, stomping off and leaving the base completely. Eggman chuckled to himself, knowing his plan was on the verge of success. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting subsequent interesting daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 15. Shadow, Sonic, Rouge, and Tails finally found the enormous machine Luna had told Shadow about before she fled. At the center of the machine, a bright glow pulsed. It was working, ready to do whatever it was designed for. None of them knew what to do next. So, what exactly is this thing supposed to do? Rouge asked, looking at the machine. From what Silver and Blaze told me, Eggman placed the Chaos Emeralds in the machine to power it up, and it's going to generate an enormous amount of energy. He's planning to use it to destroy everything that has life. It's not going to be pretty. Tails explained. Got any ideas? Sonic asked. Well, smashing it to pieces won't work. It'll just blow up. Tails replied. Shadow, remembering what Luna had said, wondered if there was something they could try. What if we try to get the Chaos Emeralds out of the machine? He suggested. Maybe if we carefully remove them, it will shut it down. Alright, let's try pulling them out. Sonic said, rushing up to the machine. The others followed and found a Chaos Emerald. They pulled with all their might, but for some reason, it wouldn't budge. Did Eggman glue these in place or something? Rouge asked, puzzled. I don't know. It's not moving at all. Tails exclaimed. What now? Isn't this thing going to activate any second? Sonic cried. Before Tails could respond, they saw the rest of their group running toward them. Thorn carried the massive Master Emerald. Phew. Thank goodness you guys made it. We can't get these Chaos Emeralds out. Tails shouted to them. What? They're stuck? Ruby asked, shocked. Yeah, I guess you could say that, Tails replied. Good thing I brought this. Thorn grinned as he set the Master Emerald down. Let's see if we can get this thing working. Little did they know, Luna was sneaking up, hoping to stop whatever they were planning. All right, Thorn, do your thing. Tails encouraged. Thorn stretched his arms and then focused on the Master Emerald. Master Emerald, please help us. We need you to bring back the other Chaos Emeralds. The world is on the brink of destruction, he said, the Master Emerald beginning to glow. As expected, the Chaos Emeralds that were stuck began to stir and glow, trying to break free. It's working. Ruby cheered. Before they could continue, Luna tackled Thorn, pinning him to the ground. Luna! What are you doing? Shadow shouted, rushing to his sister. You don't get it. I don't have a choice. Luna cried, holding Thorn down with all her strength. The glow from the Master Emerald faded, along with the light from the other Chaos Emeralds. Luna, please. We don't want to fight you. And it's clear you don't want to either. Rouge begged. The machine hummed to life and started glowing brightly. The intensity of the light became so strong they all had to take cover. What's going on? Sonic asked, panicked. He started the machine. Luna sighed, a defeated look on her face. If you hadn't knocked me down, we could have stopped it. Thorn yelled. I didn't have a choice. You would have done the same thing if it meant being trapped in a cage forever. Luna growled. Why I oughta, Thorn snarled, charging toward Luna. But Shadow stopped him before he could do anything further. Look, you don't have to do this. Shadow growled, holding Thorn back. Yes, I do. I can't be trapped again for another 100 years. Luna cried. What if you didn't have to? Shadow asked. What are you talking about? Taking a deep breath, Shadow placed his hand on his sister's shoulder. You want to help save the Earth, right? He asked. Well, of course. Then help us. I promise you, Eggman won't do anything to you. Please, help us. We don't know enough about this machine. Things could be better for all of us here. Shadow pleaded. Luna paused, considering his words. She realized this could change everything, but she would have to make the decision alone. I'll help you. Just follow my lead, she said calmly. Everyone exchanged uncertain glances but followed her toward the machine. None of them knew exactly what to expect, but they could see the glow spreading quickly. So, what happens if we touch that thing? Ruby asked, her voice trembling with fear. If you touch it, you'll turn to dust. That's what I've learned from the notes he gave me ever since I figured out what he was up to. There's only one way to turn it off, and it's inside the machine, Luna explained. Then let's go inside. Griff shouted. No. Anyone who goes in will come out as a charred skeleton, Luna responded. Then what should we do? Rouge cried out. Time was running out. The machine was already spreading the light of death farther and farther. The once green grass was turning black and gray, trees were collapsing, and the water was changing to a terrible color. The effects were immediate. I'll go in, Luna said firmly. But won't that kill you? Tails asked, his voice filled with worry. It doesn't matter. I'm the only one who can withstand this power, Luna answered cryptically. She looked at the Master Emerald lying on the ground. May I use this? She asked Thorn. Surprised by her request, Thorn reluctantly nodded and allowed her to approach it. Luna thought to herself, just like we practiced. With a steady breath, she closed her eyes, focusing on the power that the emerald contained. When she had first captured everyone, she had taken a small portion of their abilities. By using Thorn the background and the Master Emerald's energy, she was able to make it glow. She whispered something softly under her breath, which Thorn understood. I see you know the language, Thorn said, watching her carefully. I don't really. I just borrowed your power, Luna admitted. Slowly, she placed her hand on the emerald. Instantly, she absorbed its energy. She turned to face the others. She was glowing brightly, her teal eyes now a vivid blue, and she hovered above the ground. I need you to dig a trench. It's the only way to slow down this light. Hopefully, I can turn it off before it's too late, she said. You don't have to do this. I don't want you to get hurt or worse, Shadow told her. Luna took a deep breath and sighed. It's okay, Shadow. I've made my peace with this. I'll be fine. I just need you to look after everyone else, she replied calmly. Watching her walk away made Shadow feel a bit sad, but he knew he would do the same to bring peace. Amelia would be proud, he said quietly. Luna glanced back, still not making eye contact. I doubt it. I've become the opposite of what she wanted me to be, she said. But that's not your fault. Come back to us when it's over, Shadow said. As he dug through it, he found the Chaos Emeralds that had been trapped underneath. Well, good thing we got these back, Tails said, relieved. But then Shadow noticed Luna's inhibitor rings. He picked them up, noticing they were barely scratched, but nothing else. No. She can't be dead, he thought to himself. That's when he spotted a hand sticking out from under the machine. Quickly, Shadow lifted the heavy piece of metal off his sister and found her barely conscious. Luna, he cried, gently lifting her off the ground. Luna opened her eyes slowly, managing a weak smile. They were right. Our power, it can kill us. Even though it's such a beautiful thing, it's the most deadly. I'm sorry for everything I've done. Tell everyone I've hurt, that I'm sorry. The only thing I regret now, is that I didn't take the time to get to know you. Thank you, Zephyr the Hedgehog. With one final breath, Luna's body went limp. Wait. Luna, stay with me. I'm going to get you help. Stay with me. Shadow cried out, desperately running with Luna in his arms. He rushed toward the others, who had been searching for Luna as well. Guys. I need help, he shouted. Oh no. Ruby gasped. Tails checked her pulse and quickly said, I think we can save her, but we need to get her to the lab. She's fading with every second. Together, they ran to Tails' lab, where all the medical equipment was ready. Luna was carefully placed on a stretcher, and Tails began performing CPR. I'm going to need all hands on deck, he called to the group. What if we can't save her? Blaze cried. We have to try. Tails insisted. Everyone nodded and did everything they could, but there was still no sign of her heartbeat getting stronger. Come on, Luna. Tails urged. Luna's heart continued to slow down, and the monitor showed her heartbeat fading. Please, Luna. You don't deserve this. Shadow thought desperately. Sonic, power the defibrillator. Tails shouted. Sonic quickly rubbed his hands together, turning it on. Clear, he commanded, and everyone stepped back. Luna's body jolted up before falling back down. Her heart remained unchanged. Give me that, Tails said, motioning for Buzz. Buzz flew over to the counter and brought back a few items. Tails inserted a needle into her arm, drawing blood. Seeing it up close, he realized the main reason she was dying was because her blood had always been contaminated. It's turning purple, he gasped. Then it clicked. The switch. He used it to keep her controlled. Give her my blood, Shadow ordered. What? She needs fresh blood, right? Yeah, but I don't, we don't have much time. How do we know your blood will work? We don't. But we have no other choice. Looking back at Luna, Tails knew the truth all too well. He guided Shadow to another area where he drew enough blood to transfer to Luna. Once there was enough, he returned to Luna and did his best to balance the mixture. Gradually, Luna's once pale purple tips returned to their natural color. The monitor started showing a steady, strong heartbeat. Luna was coming back. Shadow let out a deep sigh of relief as he leaned against the wall. The others felt they could finally relax, knowing she was going to be okay. "All right, let's get her set up in the next room," Tails said, and they carefully wheeled her off. There, they attached a couple of monitors to her body to ensure her heart remained stable. A nasal breathing tube was placed to help clear her lungs. Rouge gently wiped her face with a damp cloth. "Thanks, Rouge. I think we'll leave her alone for now," Tails said. "Good enough for me," Rouge replied cheerfully. They each took one last look at Luna before heading back into the main room. Everyone was still trying to process everything that had happened, especially Shadow. He couldn't understand what had caused Luna to change her mind. "Look, everyone, I think we need to talk about this," Blaze said, breaking the silence. Everyone else nodded and focused on her. "We all know what she's capable of. But what does that leave us with?" she asked. "I mean, she knows everything we do now. She was so angry that she went after anyone who tried to stop her." "She's a dangerous person," Ruby replied. "Eggman found her. No one even knew she existed. I managed to grab a file that he had stolen a while ago. There are so many things listed in it. Unfortunately, most of them are still encrypted. But from what I could tell, Luna really is the ultimate life form. No offense," Tails added, glancing nervously at Shadow. "None taken," Shadow said. "But if she's that powerful, what's stopping her from coming after us now?" Rouge asked. "I doubt it. Why wouldn't she? She knows we could always use that tube thing against her," Vega replied. "No. We're not putting my sister back in that thing. I know what that's like. No matter what she's done, it wouldn't be fair." "It wouldn't make us any better than Eggman," Shadow responded. "Shadow's right. It wouldn't make us better if we threatened her the way Eggman did," Thorn added. "So what are we going to do? We can't just treat her like we did before," Ruby wondered aloud. Shadow shot her a glare, making her lower her gaze. "Why not?" "You didn't lock me away forever," Shadow snapped. "That's because we thought you were dead," Sonic replied, sounding irritated. "That's not the point. Even after you found out I was alive, no one tried to lock me up or get rid of me. So why should we treat Luna differently?" Shadow growled. "All right, we won't. But things are going to have to be different if we don't want to repeat the mistakes that happened before," Sonic promised. "I know. I'll mentor Luna," Shadow assured them. "You sure about that?" "Luna has a lot of issues we don't fully understand," Rouge asked. "I'm sure. Even if we're not close, she's fine with me." Just as everyone came to an agreement, they heard a loud, alarming sound. Specifically, the sound of a flatline. "No," Shadow thought, rushing to the room. He couldn't afford to lose her. Inside the room where Luna had been, he was shocked. The reason the machine made the flatline sound was because there was no one connected to it. The bed was empty, the tubes were scattered all over the place, and the window next to it was wide open. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting subsequent interesting daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 18. What? How? She was exhausted before. "I have to find her," Shadow thought. When the others came to see what had happened, they were in for a huge surprise. "She's gone," Buzz gasped. "Where could she have gone?" Ruby cried out. "Look, let's spread out and search for her. She couldn't have gone too far." Sonic ordered, and everyone ran out of the door. While they were searching, Shadow's attention was drawn to the flash drive that Tails had left on the table. Curious, he picked it up and inserted it into the laptop nearby. After waiting for it to load, he realized there were many files on the drive. Only one file opened for him, and it was just a picture of Luna. He clicked on another file, but it asked for a password. Shadow thought, clicking on the hint button. It read, "Our favorite flower." After reading that, Shadow typed "Morning Glory" into the password field. The computer accepted it, unlocking all the previously locked files. Once they were open, he began reading each one, learning more about Luna. One file stood out to him. It looked like a letter. He clicked on it and began reading. Log 657. Today, I had to power down one of my greatest creations. Project Luna did not turn out as I expected. Sadly, she is just too powerful, and we don't have enough information to fix her. I'm concerned about what could happen if we let her go and turn her into the ultimate life form. Would she harm anyone? Could she lose control of her abilities? Maybe she won't, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Locking Luna away is the hardest thing I've ever done. She feels like another grandchild to me. One who left too soon. Amelia is also deeply upset. They were so close, like two peas in a pod. But if I had kept going, I'm not sure what might have happened. She's already destroyed a lot of our equipment. The Chaos Emeralds need repairs. I have to focus on the new project, Project Shadow. No. He's not meant to replace her, not at all. But I hope that by creating Shadow, we can one day set Luna free and improve her. It's not her time yet, though. But I promise you, Luna, I will never stop trying to find a solution. I'm sorry we couldn't save you. I'm sorry I failed you. Amelia and I will never forget you. You've done so much. I don't know why I'm writing to you like we're dying. But I felt deep down that you deserved an apology. Be patient. Be strong. When it's your time, you will shine. You were one experiment I'll always cherish. I hope we can introduce you to your brother. I don't want you to grow up alone. For now, I'll keep these files locked. Shadow and the other future employees won't ever find out. Project Luna needs to stay hidden for now. Too many questions could lead to her destruction. I'm even thinking about moving her to another location. This is Victor Robotnik, signing off. After reading everything, Shadow shut the laptop and sighed deeply. Luna had never been forgotten. But he wished the truth had come out sooner. Now, he knew she must have gone to the safest place she could find. An idea formed in his mind. It was a long shot, but he decided to try it anyway. He thought about his sister and where she might be. Suddenly, the image of her sitting alone in a particular spot popped into his mind. Without wasting any more time, he rushed out the door, forgetting to close it. After running to the place he thought she'd be, he found her. She was sitting on the ground in the middle of a field, next to a grave. She didn't move, she just sat there in complete silence. Carefully, Shadow approached Luna and placed a hand on her shoulder. "You didn't have to come for me," she said softly. "I did." "Luna, you don't have anywhere to go," he replied. "I have a home. Right here. I finally have a place to stay. I don't have anything else to do except watch over her. It's the only thing I can do. Please, don't bother with me. I'd rather stay out here than be locked up anywhere on this planet," she begged him. Cautiously, Shadow sat down next to her, remaining calm. They sat in silence, neither of them knowing what to say. "They both really cared for you, Luna. I know you don't believe that. But they did," Shadow said, breaking the quiet. "Don't try to defend what they did," she responded. "I'm not. Trust me. They did the same thing to me, Luna. I haven't forgiven them either." "Why are you here?" Luna asked. I know that through all this chaos, I've never really gotten to know the real you. What makes you a real hedgehog? You and I share blood, whether you like it or not. You said, before you died, that you were sorry and that you wished you could have known me. Has that changed at all? Luna glanced at him, then gave a small nod. She seemed a little sad, but they both looked at the grave together. Do you think I did something right for once? She asked. I know you did, Shadow reassured her. Once again, they sat there quietly, staring at the grave with Amelia's name on it. Thank you, for believing in me, Luna said softly. Of course, Shadow sighed. No matter what challenges they would face from here on out, they would face them together. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, like and share this video to continue listening to this type of story daily and also, to appreciate this community too. I would like to hear your wonderful opinion about this story. Do you like it? Please comment below.